The story kicks off in Shanghai City, inside a quiet little room. There, a woman with sea-green hair, Jiang Wangxin, is nursing her newborn son. Between yawns, she smiles and tells her baby, Chenchen, how lucky he is. His only job is to eat and sleep, while she's the one losing all the shut-eye. Still, she insists it's worth it, as long as he grows up healthy. What she doesn't know? Her ordinary baby isn't ordinary at all. Inside that tiny body lives the soul of a man who already lived a full life. Baby Lin Zichen, that's his real name, is fully conscious, even if his brain is still developing. And just as he's adjusting to diapers and milk, a glowing blue game-like status screen pops up in his vision, labeling him Lin Zichen, 33 days old, biological level, ordinary tier 1. The infant reincarnator quickly realizes he's got to cheat. Baby gains XP. At 3 months old, while his parents, Dad Lin Yan and Mom Jiang Wangxin, marvel at his energy, little Lin Zichen is secretly grinding stats like a pro gamer. When he kicks his chubby legs for the 10,000th time, a system notification dings. Milestone achieved, 10,000 kicks. Unlocking ability, biological attribute use in advance. Translation? Whatever body part he trains can grow infinitely stronger as long as it's carbon-based. Basically, his baby kick just unlocked infinite push-up DLC. Crawling in stealth mode. By 4 months, Lin Zichen can already sit up and crawl like a champ. But he plays dumb around his parents, only training at night to avoid blowing his cover. Each crawl, sit-up, and awkward baby shuffle earns him system points. By 5 months, he's walking. By 6 months, he can finally safely show off crawling without looking like a demon child. Then one day, the TV flashes breaking news. Aberrant beasts attacking. Gene fusers and cyborgs fighting side by side. That's when Lin Zichen realizes this world isn't his old Earth. It's a mutated one, swarming with monsters. Humanity only survives thanks to 2 paths. 1. Mechanical ascension, turning yourself into a cyborg. 2. Gene fusion, splicing your DNA with monsters to fight fire with fire. Zichen gulps. Dangerous world, check. His mission? Stay alive, lay low, and train like Rocky with a pacifier. The neighbors arrive. One fateful day, the doorbell rings. Enter Shu Ming in a blue dress, her husband Shenzani, and their purple-haired toddler daughter, Shenking Han, nickname Han Han. When Lin Zichen's baby eyes land on her, he just knows. First friend unlocked, destiny flag raised. Baby gym routines. At 7 months, Zichen's training goes full CrossFit. He's running, jumping, even doing baby sit-ups at night. By 8 months, he's cranking push-ups in his crib when, busted! His mom walks in, blinks, and sees her infant son doing sit-ups like a tiny action hero. She rubs her eyes, mutters about sleep deprivation hallucinations, the perks of being a web novel author, and walks away. Zichen plays dead, literally, by pretending to sleep. Crisis averted. But not for long. During bath time, his mom notices baby abs. Cue screaming. Dad rushes in, sees the 8-pack, and immediately declares their son a once-in-a-million prodigy destined for greatness. Zichen. Phew. They bought the genius baby excuse. Genius baby versus genius baby. Later, the news shows another prodigy. A 2-year-old lifting a 20-kilo dumbbell. Mom hugs Zichen proudly and declares, "My Chenchen is just as amazing." Zichen. Note to self, lift 20 kilos by age 2. Don't embarrass mom. Level 2, toddler arc. By the time he turns 2, the toddler cheat code pays off. Alone in the storage room, he casually one-hands a 20-kilo weight. Mission accomplished. But then, Zichen! Han Han is here to play. Panic. He drops the dumbbell and rushes out to meet his little purple-haired neighbor, who's now also 2. She beams, offering him a tart. From then on, playdates become unconventional. While Han Han plays like a normal toddler, Zichen straps her to his back like a human dumbbell for weighted training. Perfect plan, except for one recurring problem. Just as he's about to finish a set, warmth, wetness. Han Han has peed on him, again. Our genius reincarnator can face aberrant beasts, cyborgs, and gene fusers, but he cannot escape toddler bladder accidents. At the grand age of 3, Lin Zichen has gone full toddler bodybuilder. He casually one-hands a 40-kilogram weight, then turns on the TV and sees a prodigy 4-year-old struggling with a mere 30 kilos. Zichen smirks. Kid, please, get on my level. Yet despite his monstrous gains, his status screen still insists he's stuck at ordinary tier 1. The system basically says, congrats, you're swole for a bug. Frustrated, he wonders, what does it take to break into tier 2? First step into the world. Soon after, he leaves the house for the very first time. Outside, a glittering futuristic megacity. Beastmen stroll the streets, cyborgs hum with chrome, and everything screams, "Welcome to Earth Mutated Edition." He tags along with his mom and the neighbors, Shu Ming and her daughter Shenking Han, Han Han, his purple-haired shadow, to the library. While his mom cheerfully points at the kiddie picture books, Zichin makes a beeline for the encyclopedias, dragging a worried Han Han behind. The moms whisper, Shu Ming, why is he into those scary books? Zhang Wangshin, genes, genius genes. Meanwhile, Han Han just offers him cookies like a loyal sidekick. Through reading, Zichin learns the truth. Life is ranked into 6 biological levels: ordinary, advanced, rare, epic, legendary, and mythical, each split into 9 tiers. Normal humans, bottom feeders. Ordinary tier 1, basically ants with jobs. This lights a fire in him. He must climb the ladder and fast. Ding! New quest. Read 100 million characters. Reward, celestial root of wisdom. Zichin grins. Mind and body training unlocked. Accept it. Year 4. Kindergarten King. A year later, the little prodigy is 4, entering kindergarten hand in hand with Han Han and their teacher, Miss Yangmei. Thanks to his grind, he finally breaks through to ordinary tier 2. His stats: 1 hand lift, 80 kilograms, high jump, 1.2 meters, 100-meter dash, 10.9 seconds. Basically, an Olympian trapped in a kindergartner's body. But even prodigies face drama. One day, Han Han is crying while other kids chant bedwetter. Zichin's eyes narrow. He leaps into the circle like a mini superhero, glares at the bullies, and growls, "If you bully Han Han again, I'll pee on your beds every day." The kids freeze. The insult is childish, but the menace is real. They burst into tears and quit kindergarten on the spot. Achievement unlocked. Kindergarten Kid King. New questline opened. Han Han gazes at him with sparkling admiration. Zichin just pats his chest proudly. Protector duties fulfilled. Memory buff and time skip. Half a year later, quest complete. After reading 100 million characters, he earns the celestial root of wisdom. Now he's rocking perfect eidetic memory and peak human learning ability. Time flies. Soon, Zichin and Han Han are almost 7, posing for their kindergarten graduation photo. By then, he's already training with a 200-kilogram barbell and sprinting 100 meters in 7.98 seconds. His vertical leap? Over 2 meters. And academically? He wipes out the entire elementary curriculum before even stepping foot in Sunshine Elementary School. At the national academic competition, he snatches first place effortlessly, just to get the system's title rewards. Meanwhile, he tutors Han Han, raising her from average student to second in the class, right behind him. Sidekick, upgrade successful. Sunshine Elementary Arc school life seems smooth. Zichin breaks every sports record, racks up titles, and balances his hero training arc with babysitting Han Han. Then, plot twist. A new transfer student appears, long silvery blue hair, aura of mystery. The teacher introduces her as Bai Shuer. The class gawks at her beauty. Han Han whispers to Zichin, "Xiao Chen, her hair looks like snowflakes." But Zichin isn't thinking about hairstyles. As Bai Shuer walks past, he senses it. An aura that is not human. Could she be a gene fuser, a cyborg hybrid, or something even stranger? For the first time, the little reincarnator feels it. The real story is about to begin. At first, Bai Shuer is the ultimate enigma. She transfers in, sits at her desk, lays her head down, and basically cosplays as a hibernating bear 24/7. She doesn't talk, doesn't move, barely blinks. Even restroom breaks? Optional, apparently. The class is intrigued at first. Some even snap selfies with the sleeping beauty. But when the novelty wears off and she still refuses to join the party, they move on. Life returns to normal, until 1 month later. The incident. One day, a bizarre phenomenon begins. Bai Shuer starts secreting a viscous white liquid that oozes down her clothes and legs, carrying a foul stench. Note, not the superpower reveal Lin Zichin was expecting. The classroom reacts like a biohazard alarm just went off. "You, gross! What's that smell?" And of course, every school has that one punk. Enter Guan Chun, resident bully. He sneers, makes a crude joke, then takes his water bottle and dumps it over her head, declaring he's washing her out. Cue. Bai Shuer trembling, fists clenched, tears streaming silently as the whole room erupts in laughter. It's cruelty at its ugliest. Lin Zichin steps. In from her desk, Shen Qinghan tugs on Lin Zichin's sleeve, whispering, "Xiao Chen, can't we help her?" Zichin frowns. At first, he thought Bai was dangerous, but seeing her cry, soaked and humiliated, he realizes she's not a threat. She's just a lonely girl, and right now she needs saving.
So he stands up, walks straight to Guan Chun, grabs the boy by the collar with a smile that screams mini-mafia boss energy. "Wipe the water." Now Guan Chun turns pale. He knows this look. Lin Zichin isn't just a bookworm. He's a legend. Even 6th graders give him a wide berth. Terrified, Guanchun stammers, "I'll clean it up right away." The rest of the bullies scramble with tissues, frantically polishing her desk like waiters trying not to get fired. Then Zichin drops the hammer. "Apologize. All of you." And they do. Bowing, sweating, promising never to bully her again. Kindergarten flashbacks, except now it's the elementary edition. The first true friendship. With the bullies gone, Bai Shuer finally lifts her head, eyes glistening. She whispers a shaky "thank you." Han Han pats her shoulder warmly. That's what classmates are for. From that day forward, Shen King Han takes it upon herself to be Bai Shuer's first real friend. She drags Zichin along too, whether he likes it or not. Han Han always offers her best snacks first, while Bai cautiously tests the taste of kindness for the first time. One day she hesitates and blurts out, "Aren't you disgusted? I smell terrible. I've always been hated." Han Han clasps her hands and says firmly, "This is not a dream. We'll be friends forever." Right, Xiaochen? Zichin, caught in the oath against his will. Guess I'm in this now. Overcome, Bai bursts into tears and hugs Han Han tightly. Then she gifts them a necklace with twin beast fangs, her most precious belonging, as a symbol of their friendship. 3 kids, 1 sunset, a pinky swear for life. It's pure childhood anime vibes. And then, she vanished. But just as things seemed perfect, Bai Shuer suddenly transfers out. Han Han is stunned. Why didn't she say anything? Lin Zichin, however, already knows. He saw it with his own eyes. Bai in the principal's office, signing papers alongside a towering man with cybernetic arms. The principal assured him everything would be kept confidential. That was the day Zichin confirmed his hunch. Bai's identity was anything but ordinary. And just like that, she was gone. No goodbye, no explanations, just questions. But fate wasn't done with him yet, because what came next would shake his peaceful routine far more than a mysterious girl with a strange aura. It's a quiet night at home. Lin Zichin is massaging his mother Zhang Wangxin's shoulders, and she's practically melting. Ah, perfect. After a whole day of typing web novels, this is heaven, she sighs. Little does she know, her 8-year-old son is basically a professional masseuse. Thanks to his celestial root of wisdom, Zichin has memorized advanced massage techniques like a human spa encyclopedia. Internally, he's impressed. Who knew my genius memory would be this useful? Guess I've unlocked the filial piety DLC, but before Wangxin can fall asleep, the news interrupts with a bombshell report. Breaking news: Kyoto prodigy achieves gene fusion at age 10. The broadcast shows a boy casually lifting a 500-kilogram boulder with one hand. Zichin freezes. He knows that face. It's that guy, his rival. Papa Lin Yan immediately groans. This Kyoto brat again? Do they want him to be a martial arts influencer now? Mom shakes her head. He's just a kid. It's wrong to use him as a guinea pig. Dad shrugs. He's from a 1,000-year-old martial arts family. For them, family comes before childhood. Mom snaps back. Wow, you really know everything, huh? Dad raises his brows. Obviously. And the bickering begins, but Zichin tunes them out, crunching the numbers. Before gene fusion, Kyoto boy could lift 100 kilograms. Now 500 kilograms, a 5-fold boost. Meanwhile, at just 8 years old, Zichin can already hoist 300 kilograms raw, no fusion required. He pumps his fist. Ha! My potential leaves his in the dust. Confidence, plus 9,999. And then, the true horror. But that smugness lasts all of 5 minutes. The next segment shows a neighboring country reduced to rubble, a massive explosion, entire city gone. The footage cuts to giant aberrant rats swarming the ruins, their massive jaws clamping down on screaming civilians before, well, let's just say it's not PG. The news anchors report that a cult called the Heretics was behind the attack, an anti-human group that worships aberrant beasts and manipulates them for destruction. Zichin gulps. Okay. Lifting weights is cool, but how do you train to not get eaten by a 3-story rat? He feels grateful his own country is safe and powerful, a perfect place to grow strong while keeping his head down. That's when the night sky shatters with sonic booms. Rushing to the window, he sees a squadron of heavily armed cyborgs streaking across the city like fighter jets. The sight makes his stomach drop. So much for safe and peaceful. Something big is happening. Necklace glows. By morning, everything looks normal again. Zichin waits for Han Han, who comes running up, panting and apologizing for being late. Then he notices it. The beast fang necklace Bai Shur had given them, the one Han Han now wears, suddenly pulses with a bright blue glow. Zichen freezes. That aura. So it really was from an aberrant beast, but just as quickly as it appears, the glow fades. Han Han doesn't even notice, brushing it off. Zichen forces a smile, but his gut tells him otherwise. Between the cyborg deployment and the necklace's reaction, trouble is brewing. The red-haired stranger. On their way to school, things get creepier. Leaning casually against a lamppost is a striking woman with flowing red hair and a black dress. As they pass, she smiles sweetly. What adorable kids! Are you two brother and sister? Han Han beams. Nope. We're childhood best friends. The woman's smile lingers, wistful. Childhood friends? How lucky. I wish I had one too, but then, her eyes glint, her expression twists into something darker. She leans closer. Tell me, why are you walking to school alone? Where are your parents? Han Han, innocent as always, opens her mouth to answer, but Zichen yanks her hand and cuts her off. We're gonna be late. He drags her away without a second glance, leaving the mysterious woman behind. Once they're safe, he kneels to Han Han's level, sighs, and says firmly, Don't talk to strangers. Ever. She nods obediently, cheeks puffed in embarrassment. After school, Lin Zichen decides to take a shortcut through a deserted alleyway. Han Han hugs her backpack nervously. This place is creepy. Zichen waves it off like a tour guide. Relax. The whole area is scheduled for demolition. Everyone's already moved out. Totally safe. Narrator's note, whenever a protagonist says totally safe, you know it's about to be totally not safe. Sure enough. Finally out of school, are we? The red-haired woman from the morning strolls out of the shadows, smiling far too sweetly for comfort. Beside her is a human mountain of muscle named Shang. She waves like a friendly aunt. Over here, Shang. The kids are right here. Zichen stiffens. Wait. I purposely took a different route. How did she... The woman coos. Don't be scared, darlings. Come here. I've got treats. Shang rolls his eyes. Enough nonsense. Just knock them out already. I'm in a hurry to sell them for cash. And with that, the musclehead lunges at them with a cloth in hand. When an 8-year-old punches like a bulldozer, Zichen reacts instantly. He shoves Han Han out of harm's way, plants his feet, and cocks his fist back. System buff plus adrenaline boost equals one very unlucky kidnapper. BAM. His tiny fist connects squarely with Shang's jaw. The man doesn't just stop. He flies backward down the alley like a rag doll on a trampoline, coughing blood and wondering which truck just hit him. The red-haired woman's jaw drops. Did an elementary schooler just send a 200-pound man flying? Zichen doesn't wait. He turns on her next. Before she can even gasp, he slams a punch into her stomach, follows with an uppercut. KO! She's out cold. Standing over their unconscious bodies, Zichen's expression hardens. He picks up a brick. No cameras, no witnesses. If they live, my powers get exposed. Best to tie up loose ends. Then the real horror arrives. Before he can bring the brick down, the ground trembles, dust falls, buildings groan, and then, crash! A massive clawed hand smashes through a wall. A giant aberrant rat emerges, towering and monstrous. Its crimson eyes glow, its whiskers twitch menacingly. Han Han screams, frozen in terror. But instead of eating the kids, the rat looms over the unconscious red-haired woman. One swift swipe, slash! Her head rolls away. The beast casually picks it up like a trophy. Han Han lets out a blood-curdling scream. Zichen doesn't hesitate. He scoops her into his arms and bolts. That's a giant aberrant rat! Hang on, we need to get out of here now! Enter bunny-eared cyborg. As they sprint, a flash of red and gold streaks across the sky. A blonde female cyborg, helmet adorned with sleek rabbit ear attachments, dives into the alley. She's so fast, she looks like a streak of lightning. Han Han, clinging to Zichen's back, gasps. She's so fast! The cyborg lands behind the rat, gauntlets glowing. Deploying anesthetic smoke. Boom, boom, boom! Her projectiles erupt against the beast, filling the alley with fiery explosions and choking gas. Zichen shields Han Han with his body, teeth gritted. The rat roars in pain, stumbling, slowed by the anesthetic. The cyborg seizes the chance. In a blur of strikes, she tears into the monster, finishing it off in a brutal flurry. The giant aberrant rat collapses, lifeless. Aftermath and cake arc. That night, Zichin watches the news replay of the battle. He analyzes like a true future tactician. Her power level isn't that high. She had to weaken the rat first, and even then it took her 7 minutes to finish the job. Giant aberrant rats are terrifying. They can grow over 10 meters long and reach tier 5. Still, good thing we got out alive. Determination hardens his gaze. I need to train harder. If I want to protect Han Han, I can't rely on bunny cyborgs to bail me out every time. Cue montage, Zichin in his training space, squatting with a heavy barbell, system notifications popping like mobile game achievements. Birthday break life doesn't stop just because mutant rats do. Soon, Zichin and Han Han celebrate their 9th birthday together. Both families gather, a massive cake sits at the center, candles flickering. They blow out the candles, exchange wishes, then gifts. Zichin, thanks to his celestial root of wisdom, had crammed woodworking overnight and crafted an intricate wooden hairpin. Han Han squeals, sliding it into her hair. I love it. It's beautiful. Time skips forward. The two graduate elementary school. On the way out, Zichin's system dings. Achievement unlocked, dominated 9 years of compulsory education, titles gained, kindergarten kid king, plus elementary school top dog. His eyes sparkle. Next up, middle school overlord. Reward, survival of the fittest attribute. While most kids spent their summer break leveling up in video games, Lin Zichin spent his leveling up in real life. His regimen? 1,000 push-ups with a boulder on his back because dumbbells are for mortals. 10-kilometer runs that ended with system notifications instead of sweat stains. And then it happened. Ding. System notice, biological level breakthrough, ordinary 3rd tier. His new stats, one-hand lift, 700 kilograms, basically forklift mode. Vertical jump, 4 meters, NBA scouts weep. 100-meter dash, 6 seconds flat, Olympics canceled. Zichin wipes his brow and thinks, I wonder how the Kyoto Prodigy is doing. Kyoto Prodigy. The return. Coincidentally, the TV answers his question. Breaking news! At 14, the Kyoto Prodigy has fused with giant ant genes. Watch as he casually one-hands a 2,000-kilogram alloy block. His parents gawk. His dad mutters, show off. They're turning this kid into an influencer. Meanwhile, Zichin calculates like a smug mathematician. Giant ant genes multiply strength by 4 to 8, which means, without the boost, his real lift is about 500 kilograms. I'm already stronger. Huh. Zichin fist pumps. Just wait till I start fusing genes. I'll be unstoppable. Welcome to middle school. Because he was the city's top student, every elite middle school begged for him. Zichin chose Shanghai Middle School, on one condition. Shenning Han had to be in his class too. During registration, the principal and homeroom teacher practically roll out a red carpet. We're counting on you, Lin Zichin. Zichin smiles politely, but inside, I only came here for the badminton courts. Badminton bloodbath. On the court, Shenning Han twirls her racket dramatically. Fairy's curveball serve. The shuttlecock sails through the air. Zichin casually catches it mid-flight like he's picking fruit off a tree. But before their game can continue, trouble arrives. A group of upperclassmen swagger in. Their leader, rocking a backward cap, snatches the shuttlecock. Court's reserved, kids. His goons snicker. But hey, the little girl can stay and spar with us. Shenning Han plants her feet, fiery as always. Rules are rules. We were here first. Zichin steps forward, eyes cold. Back away from her. First come, first served. The cap-wearing leader sneers. I make the rules now. He tosses the shuttlecock up for a serve, but Zichin moves. Correction, he says. My rules are the only ones that matter. He leaps sky high, racket glowing with divine fury. His smash creates a white blur across the court. Crack! The leader's racket explodes into splinters. His cap flies off like a rocket. The upperclassmen stare, pale as ghosts. One whispers, if that had missed by an inch, our boss's head would be gone. They fold instantly, bowing in unison. We understand the rules now. Sorry, we'll leave. And they flee like cockroaches under a kitchen light. After that, nobody ever dared to bully Zichin or Han Han again. School life of a prodigy. Life in middle school was basically the same, just with better facilities. Academics? Zichin was so far ahead he'd finished the entire curriculum ages ago. He spent class reading random books while teachers pretended not to notice. Nights? After workouts, he binged online tutorials at inhuman speed, cooking, photography, driving, swimming, every sport imaginable. The man was building a resume fit for 10 lifetimes. The middle school overlord title, though, still locked. He tried everything, aced exams, collected trophies, represented the school in national competitions. But he deliberately avoided winning first place every single time to keep a low profile. Narrator: low profile my foot. Instead, he attracted fangirls, mountains of love letters piled on his desk daily. He ignored them all, focusing only on tutoring Shening Han and preparing for the big event, the school sports festival. Festival of Domination. Zichin entered 3 events: shot put, high jump, and sprinting, 1 for each stat. Shot put casually lobbed the iron ball 201.1 meters, and that was him holding back. High jump, 4 meters, easy. Sprinting smoked the competition so hard they were still tying their shoelaces when he crossed the finish line. Gold, gold, gold. Sitting with Shening Han afterward, admiring his medal collection, the system chimed. Achievement complete, dominate 9 years of compulsory education. Title unlocked, middle school overlord. Attribute gained, survival of the fittest. Power surged through his veins. He grinned. Finally, a fang with secrets. Walking home with Han, he pondered his new attribute, survival of the fittest. Lets a predator devour the life essence of other creatures to evolve. But what's life essence? Then inspiration struck. He turned to Han. Can I borrow your beast fang necklace? She nodded. The moment he touched it, a notification appeared. You have devoured a trace of the abyssal giant butterfly's life essence. Guidebook unlocked. 1% progress. A spectral butterfly with ominous eyes on its wings unfurled around him. Zichin froze. Butterfly. Tooth? That night, he scoured the internet for abyssal giant butterfly. Nothing. Not a whisper. He remembered. Bai Shuer had given them 2 fangs. He dug through his bag, pulled out the second tooth, and repeated the process. Life essence devoured. Guidebook progress, 2%. Zichin stared at the fang, disappointed. Barely any juice left. He clenched his fist. If I want the butterfly's full power, I'll need to find the real thing. And so, the hunt begins. The very next day after school, Lin Zichin upgraded his daily training routine by pedaling Shening Han to and from school on his trusty bike. On the surface, it was a noble gesture. In reality, he figured a bike doubled as both cardio training and a quick getaway vehicle in case an aberrant beast decided they looked like a 2-for-1 lunch special. Just as they rolled out of the school gates, a man in a shiny tracksuit called out. Zichin! Lin braked, and the man jogged up, grinning like a used car salesman. I'm Coach Guo, martial arts team, he introduced himself, clapping Zichin's shoulder. Your performance at the sports meet? The best in school history. Truly incredible. You must join the team. Coach Guo's words came rapid fire like a machine gun of enthusiasm. Before Lin could squeeze in a polite, no thanks, the coach was already waving goodbye, shouting, Room C in the gym tomorrow. I'll be waiting for you. Zichin blinked. Shening Han giggled. The poor boy had just been recruited by sheer force of volume. That evening, Zichin sat in his room, ready to test his shiny new survival of the fittest ability. He smacked his hands together, squashing a cockroach and a mosquito in one blow. Opening his palms dramatically, he waited for the surge of power. Nothing, not even a flicker. Turns out ordinary insects weren't exactly packed with exotic life essence. Who knew? So, new theory, only stronger beasts carried the juicy power he needed. Time to test it properly. The next day, he biked Shening Han into the city and pulled up at a massive supermarket. Inside, there were shelves stacked with beast meat. Only all of it was prepackaged. He frowned. How could he absorb anything through plastic wrap? Just as frustration set in, he heard a booming voice. Fresh beast meat, not prepackaged, safe to eat. His eyes lit up. Jackpot. Wait here, he told Shening Han mysteriously, then rushed over like a man about to propose to a steak. He slapped his hand on a slab of freshly cut meat, BZZT. A surge of purple energy rushed into him, his grin stretched ear to ear. Yes, it works! Behind him, Shening Han stared. Why are you smiling like that at raw meat? Zichin, playing it cool. Oh, it just feels extra fresh. Want to touch it? Absolutely not. She waved her hands like he was contagious. Mission complete, he bought some to take home. Not just any meat, though. Ghost Shadow Squid, the cheapest option, which still cost nearly 1,000 yen a jin. His wallet whimpered. Shining panicked at the price. "Your mom's gonna kill you. At least call her first." Patting her head, Zichin lied smoothly. "Relax. She told me to buy plenty. She's already planning a feast queue flashback." His mom happily nodding in approval. Except, in reality, this was all in his imagination. At checkout, the cashier rang up 3 packages for a painful 29 yen and 94 cents. Lin forced a smile. Internally, he was crying. On the ride home, he couldn't resist. He discreetly pressed his hand on the package in the bike basket. Another surge of purple energy. The system confirmed. Ghost Shadow Squid Guidebook unlocked. Progress 0.1%. A creepy mental image of a giant multi-eyed squid floated in his head. He quickly did the math. 1 jin equals 0.1%, meaning 100 jin for 100%. That's 100,000 yen. His wallet fainted again. But the squid's power, to dissolve into water and vanish, was absolutely worth it. He just needed mountains of cash. Better yet, the meat wasn't spoiled after absorption, meaning he could eat it too. Double profit. His progress climbed to 3% as he tapped more squid essence on the ride. Unfortunately, his squid meditation ended when Shining Han shouted, "Brake!" He screeched to a halt, barely avoiding mowing down a couple in the bike lane. He apologized, scolding himself for daydreaming. But the lane was packed. Why? Ahead, they saw it. A tense standoff. A muscular, red-haired man held a woman at knife point. Shining Han gasped. "It's Teacher Zia!" Police surrounded the area. Through a megaphone, the captain tried to calm the suspect. Officer Abing raised his gun, itching to shoot, but the captain yanked him back. "Too risky." "The hostage is too close," Abing muttered about gas. The captain rejected it. While the cops hesitated, Zichin acted. He picked up a pebble, flicked it with ridiculous precision, ping, and struck Abing's gun. The misfire sent a stray bullet flying straight into the suspect's hand. Knife dropped, hostage freed. "Move in!" the captain roared. Police swarmed, disarming and cuffing the red-haired thug. Teacher Sia sobbed in relief as a female officer comforted her. Meanwhile, Zichin casually got back on his bike. "Let's go," he whispered. Shining Han stared at him wide-eyed. "Did you just—" "Shh!" He pedaled away, almost free. "Wait!" The captain's voice rang out. "You! Boy, were you the one who threw that rock?" Panic flashed across Zichin's face. He forced a nervous laugh. "Ha ha! Me?" "No way, sir." The captain frowned. "Strange. You'd think someone would admit to a good deed, especially when there's a reward for bravery reward. The magic word." Zichin's brakes screamed as he spun back around, skidding to a stop in front of the captain. He scratched his head sheepishly. "Actually, yes, that was me. And, the reward part is really important." The captain chuckled, clapping his shoulder. "Good. Come by the station to make a report. I'll make sure you're properly rewarded." After informing their families, Lin Zichin and Shining Han prepared to head to the police station, expecting a smooth, boring debrief. Easy reward money, maybe a pat on the back, then home in time for snacks. But fate, as usual, had other plans. As the police escorted the cuffed suspect away, his face suddenly began twisting grotesquely, like he was mid-transformation into a Halloween mask. The captain paled. "Heretic!" The man's bones cracked and his muscles ballooned. In seconds, the suspect mutated into a hulking, aberrant rat. The cuffs snapped like cheap toy bracelets. With a shriek, it lashed out, swiping its massive claws at the officers. "Open fire!" the captain barked into his radio. "Protect the civilians!" Gunfire erupted in a storm of noise, but the bullets pinged off the monster's hide like BB pellets. A frantic voice came through the radio. "Confirmed heretic! Subject fused with Rat King genes, requesting immediate backup." Lin Zichen grabbed Shining Han and their teacher, muttering a quick apology as he dragged them into a retreat. Thankfully, the rat wasn't chasing them. Still, his heart pounded. He really didn't feel like becoming rat chow today. Then, the sky lit purple. A sleek figure streaked down from the heavens, landing with a boom that shook the street. A female cyborg in gleaming armor, her short, dark purple hair catching the light. She reeled back a metallic fist and smashed the rat square in the jaw, staggering the beast. Hovering into the air, her chest plate split open to reveal a glowing core. Fire! A blinding beam of purple energy tore out, engulfing the mutant. The rat's roar of agony was cut short as it was disintegrated into a smoking pile of charred flesh. Everyone stared, stunned. Teacher Sia and Shining Han both exhaled in relief. Zichen, however, was staring at something far more important, his bike. Thank the heavens, he sighed. Not even a scratch. Do you know how much repairs would have cost? But relief didn't last. A foul stench hit him. He looked into the bike basket and his stomach dropped. The ghost shadow squid. His precious, overpriced squid, spoiled. The meat had turned gray and limp, oozing stink. He realized the truth. Absorbing life essence did spoil the meat, but only after a short delay. Grimacing, he lifted a tentacle with tragic solemnity. Putting on his best Oscar-worthy performance, he dramatically tossed it to the ground. Damn you, heretic! Damn your rat cult! Even the cyborg's laser couldn't spare my dinner. Teacher Zia patted his shoulder kindly. What matters is that everyone's safe. Zichen nodded, mourning his wallet more than the squid. At the captain's request, they rode with the security team to the station. Unfortunately, they were crammed into the same van as the scorched heretic remains. The smell was indescribable. Even Zichen's squid smelled better. He sat stiffly, pinching his nose when a thought struck him. Bai Shuer's beast fangs had still contained life essence long after death. His eyes flicked to the charred corpse. Could there be essence left in that too? And if so, could I snatch some Rat King genes for myself? Curiosity won. He discreetly reached a hand toward the remains. The instant he touched, scorched flesh, bezizt. A powerful surge of red energy shot into him. System prompt. Devoured trace of giant Rat King's life essence. Guidebook unlocked. Progress, 5%. His jaw nearly dropped. That was more than the squid gave him by orders of magnitude. Freshness mattered. The closer to alive, the stronger the harvest. Before he could gloat too long, Officer Abing noticed him leaning forward. Hey kid, sit still. Zichen jerked upright. Ah. Just stretching, sir. At the public security office, the captain handed him paperwork. I've applied for your bravery reward. But his sharp eyes narrowed. How did a middle schooler, in poor lighting from that distance, manage to hit the suspect's knife hand with a rock? Perfectly? Zichen scratched his cheek. I train my right hand a lot? The captain blinked. What does that even mean? Before he could press further, Shining Han's voice called out, Auntie's here! Zichen turned, stunned to see his parents rushing in. His mother, Jiang Wangshan, ran straight to him with tears in her eyes, wrapping him in a desperate hug. Zichen, my baby, are you hurt? You scared me half to death. He hugged her back awkwardly. I'm fine, Mom. Really, I even got a bravery reward. Promise me, she cut in, gripping his shoulders. Next time, you hide. I don't care about rewards. I only care about seeing you grow up safe for once. Zichen was speechless. Her words hit deep. He nodded. Okay, Mom. I promise. As they left, the captain silently watched, still unsettled by the boy's vague answers. Something about Zichen didn't add up. On the way out, Zichen overheard two female officers gossiping. Perverts are getting more brazen, one muttered. Not perverts. Heretic, the other corrected. He was a liberal arts student from Guangyuan University. Brainwashed by the rat god cult. The first officer cursed. Then we need to wipe out this cult at the root. The root, the other replied grimly, is their so-called Rat King. The name made Zikin freeze. His eyes lit up. On the ride home, Lin Zichen did what any self-respecting teenager would do after barely escaping a mutant rat attack. He pulled out his phone and started Googling. To his surprise, there was plenty of information on the rat god cult, almost like they had their own Reddit forum. Scrolling through, he learned their headquarters was in Shanghai, and most members were society's outcasts, the type of people who failed their exams, got rejected on dating apps, and then decided worshiping a giant rat was the logical next step. But the real shocker was the Rat King himself. Apparently, he wasn't just a big, ugly rodent. He wanted to evolve into a higher life form. He was forcing his followers to collect evolution materials like some nightmarish Pokemon trainer. Zikin's blood ran cold. Wait, does that mean the Rat King has sentience? Before he could spiral into existential dread, his attention shifted outside the car window. There, waddling down the sidewalk like it owned the place, was a rat nearly the size of a cat. He froze. Rat King's spy? A second later, he scoffed at himself. This was the South. Cat-sized rats were practically local wildlife. Shaking off the thought, he glanced at Shen Qing Han. She was awfully quiet, fidgeting with her knees pressed together like she was guarding a national secret. Zichen instantly understood. Ever since childhood, whenever she got nervous or scared, she, well, couldn't exactly control her bladder. Most people would find it embarrassing. Zichen, however, always felt this quirk was hiding some kind of mysterious potential, like maybe her power was sealed in her bladder. When they finally got home, Zichen's mother, Zhang Wang, immediately noticed the absence of nearly 3,000 yen worth of ghost shadow squid meat. Her jaw dropped. "Where's the meat?" Thinking fast, Zichen gave his best sheepish smile. I must have dropped it when I was running for my life." His mother gasped. "Forget the meat, child. What matters is that you're safe." Zichen breathed a sigh of relief. Fooled her.
Unfortunately, his father, Lin Yensen, was less sentimental. The man puffed up his chest like a worn-out office worker who still wanted to believe he was tough. "I'll go back and find it," he declared. "Spoiled or not, I don't waste money." Panic struck Zichen. "No, Dad. It's too dangerous. And besides," he hesitated, "it's already spoiled." Suspicion flickered in his father's eyes. "And how exactly do you know it's spoiled?" Sweat trickled down Zichen's neck. "Lucky guess?" Meanwhile, back at the police station, Captain Hun Shan was brooding in his office with a cigarette, replaying the night's events. One thought gnawed at him. How the hell did an ordinary middle schooler throw a rock with sniper-level precision in pitch darkness? That's when he heard it, the scratching sound. He turned. Perched on the filing cabinets was a rat. Not just any rat. A massive one, with beady eyes gleaming in the shadows. The captain reached for his pistol. The rat leapt. Gunshots. A blur of claws and blood. By morning, the captain was a headline. The next day, Lin Zichen slumped over his desk, sighing like an old man trapped in a teenager's body. The heretic, the cyborg girl, the mutant rat, he was painfully aware of how weak he still was. And more importantly, how broke. He needed beast meat. Lots of beast meat. And beast meat wasn't cheap. For a moment, he considered becoming an influencer. But no, too flashy. He wanted to keep a low profile. Selling study materials? Boring. Then it hit him. In this world, martial arts and gene fusion mattered way more than academics. So he marched straight to Building C, where the school martial arts team trained. Coach Guo was sipping tea from a thermos when Zichen approached. "Coach," Zichen asked casually, "if I join the team, will I get to compete in city tournaments? And is the prize money, say, in the tens of thousands?" Coach Guo's eyes lit up. Of course. That was all Zichen needed. He shook the coach's hand firmly. "I'm joining." The coach nearly spit out his tea in excitement. He gathered the team to introduce their new recruit. "This is Lin Zichen, our school sports meet champion." The teammates, Zhang Kai, Hang Tianing, or Ashing, Lu Tong, and Hanigua, nodded their greetings. Since Zichen had no formal training, Coach Guo demonstrated the basics, simple fists and kicks. "They may look easy, but they're tough. Our fastest learner, Lai Shutong, needed a whole week to get them right. Zikin nodded politely, but inside, he was grinning. With his celestial root of wisdom, aka Heaven's cheat code, he already understood every detail. He stepped up, assumed a stance, and began. Fist. Perfect form. Kick. Flawless execution. Transition. Seamless. Ding! A system notification popped up, granting points in vitality, strength, dexterity, and proficiency. The room went dead silent. The coach's jaw dropped. His thermos nearly slipped from his hands. The team just stared. Coach Gua had one thought. This kid isn't human. He's a once-in-a-million martial arts prodigy. That evening, Zikin rushed home for dinner. His mother proudly unveiled a platter of ghost shadow squid, the very meat he craved. The aroma alone made his mouth water. He devoured it happily, but then came the ding. A system notification informed him he had absorbed a trace of the squid's life essence, pushing his guidebook progress to 3.01%. Zikin nearly spat out his food. Wait. I could have just eaten it this whole time? All that fuss with spoiling and blaming heretics? While he sulked inwardly, the TV blared breaking news. A 14-year-old genius girl, the youngest cyborg in history, was being profiled. She could lift a 5,000 kilograms SUV with one hand, sprint 100 m in 3 seconds, and leap 8 meters straight up. Zikin blinked. Cybernetics versus gene fusion. Which path is stronger? His musings were interrupted by another broadcast, this time grim. Captain Hun Shan had been killed in his office. Surveillance showed a giant mutant rat attacking him before disappearing into the night. Zikin froze, remembering the rat he'd seen yesterday. His stomach churned. The danger was growing. He needed to train harder. So he did. Days later, his stats were insane. He could sprint 100 meters in 4.61 seconds, jump 5.3 meters high, and lift 1,200 kilograms with one hand. Not bad for a normal middle schooler. But trouble, as always, found him. The next morning, Shin Qinghan followed him curiously to the gym. On the way, a pink-haired girl shyly offered Zikin a bottle of milk. He smiled politely and declined. Behind them, Jiang Kai, teammate, sore loser, and apparently jealous admirer of pink-haired girl, was fuming. Watching her get rejected crushed him. He stormed up and blocked their path. You hurt her feelings. Apologize. I'm allergic to milk. Zikin replied calmly. Liar! Kai snapped, his veins bulging. He pointed at Zikin dramatically. I challenge you to a spar. If I lose, I'll never bother you again. But if you lose, you drink the milk. At that exact moment, ding! A system notification appeared. New achievement mission. Defeat 1,000 opponents in formal competition. Unlock survival of the fittest trait. Zikin's lips curled into a sly grin. Surrounded by a faint purple aura, his eyes glinted with mischief. Challenge accepted, he said. Word of the duel spread through the school like wildfire. By the time Lin Zikin and Jiang Kai stepped into the gym, the place was packed. Students crowded around the sparring floor, buzzing with excitement. Two freshmen whispered to each other. Wait, Lin Zikin? The sports meet champ? Yeah, and he's fighting a senior. This is gonna be legendary. The crowd was very clearly on Zikin's side. Female fans screamed encouragement, telling him to teach that bully a lesson. The pink-haired girl from earlier stood at the front, phone in hand, ready to immortalize the moment for social media. Jiang Kai, meanwhile, was fuming. Everyone seemed convinced he was going to lose. Ha! Just because he's been shining for a month, they think he's invincible? This duel will be my redemption arc. Lin Zikin, in contrast, looked utterly unfazed. Can we make this quick? I need to get home for dinner. The word stabbed into Jiang Kai's pride like a hot knife. He smirked coldly. Fine. Quick it is. Coach Gua stepped between them, raising his hand. Remember, no killing blows. The match begins. Wait. Jiang Kai interrupted with a smug grin. To make this fair, I'll give you 3 free moves. After all, I've trained for nearly 2 years. You? Barely a month. The crowd murmured. How generous. How noble. How utterly condescending. Zikin just nodded. All right. And then boom. Before Jiang Kai could even blink, Lin Zikin blurred forward. His fist crashed into Jiang Kai's nose with the force of a freight train. Blood sprayed. The senior flew backward, collapsing to the mat in an unconscious heap. 1 punch. 1 second. The entire gym froze in stunned silence. Coach Gua dropped his thermos. The fight is over. In 1 punch. The crowd erupted in chaos. Girls screamed his name. Shin Qinghan threw her fist into the air, shouting like a die-hard fangirl. The pink-haired girl squealed while live-streaming, her phone trembling from excitement. Zikin glanced at his system. Ding! Mission update. By defeating a rival and earning the affection of the opposite sex, you've gained priority mating rights. His progress toward natural selection was now officially at 1/1000. He sighed inwardly. Still 999 to go. This is going to take forever. So he turned to the rest of the martial arts team. Smiling just a little too warmly, he asked, "Shall we spar next?" The team members went pale. "I have to cram tonight. My mom's waiting with dinner. I think I'm coming down with the plague." Before they could escape, Jang Kai stirred. Wobbling to his knees, he glared at Zikin. You sneak attacked me. I demand a rematch." Coach Gua barked. "Enough. Accept defeat like a man." Then, rubbing his chin, he muttered, "Unless it really was a lucky punch. Let's test it. Xiaozi, step up." A spiky-haired boy froze like a deer in headlights. "And me? See, can't we just, play cards instead?" Despite trembling, he assumed a fighting stance. 10 minutes later, several martial arts members lay groaning on the gym floor, clutching bruises. Zikin stood over them, dusting his hands. He hadn't even gone all out, just a few light taps. He checked his system again. Nothing. No progress. Damn. Friendly spars don't count. Only official matches do. Just then, a heavy hand clapped his shoulder. Coach Gua's face gleamed with unholy delight. "Lin Zikin! You're a prodigy. With you, our team will dominate regionals. First place is ours." Zikin's eyes lit up. The tournament, of course. Official battles, one after another. This is my fast track to 1,000 victories. But before his grand plans could spiral further, a voice croaked out. Jang Kai, barely upright, pointed at him dramatically. "Lin Zikin! I acknowledge you. From this day forward, you are my superior, my master, my—" "Okay, that's enough." Coach Gua cut in quickly. Xin Qinghan looked horrified. The pink-haired girl turned off her phone. Even Zikin shivered at the bizarre declaration. The crowd scattered fast, leaving Jang Kai alone, still rambling about loyalty and honor to absolutely no one. In this world, high schoolers had to choose martial arts or academics. Given the growing danger of aberrant beasts, martial arts was the obvious path. Xin Qinghan, determined not to fall behind, threw herself into training with Zikin. Their daily routine was brutal: a 30,000-meter run, an hour of sparring, countless push-ups and sit-ups. At the end, Zikin would even give her massages to ease her sore muscles, though Xin Qinghan always turned bright red. And Zikin? He trained twice as hard, hell-bent on reaching the top before the rat god's cult grew any stronger. 1 month later, the big day arrived. The regional martial arts tournament. The gym buzzed with banners, teams warming up, and the smell of fried snacks from the stands. Lin Zikin stood tall at the entrance, eyes sharp, fists clenched. This was it. The battlefield that would decide his future. And the fastest way to rack up 999 more wins. The regional martial arts tournament was being held at the massive city gymnasium, a place so big it felt like a sports anime opening was about to start at any moment. The arena was packed to the rafters with students, parents, teachers, and at least one confused old man who had just wandered in for free snacks. In the waiting area, the air was thick with tension. Coach Gua paced back and forth like a man trying to find a bathroom during halftime. He checked the match roster, then dramatically slammed it down. Why did it have to be Shanghai #1 high in the first round? He wailed. Another team member chimed in, face pale. Coach, they have that guy who ran a 100-meter dash in under 9 seconds. The entire team collectively died a little inside. Before despair could swallow them whole, Lin Zikin raised his hand with the calm of a man who had already mentally scheduled dinner after winning. I'll go first, he said casually. Coach Gua blinked at him, torn between terror and hope. Fine. Don't die. As Lin Zikin walked out to the roaring arena, Xin Qinghan waved a little flag she'd probably made that morning, and Coach Gua screamed encouragement through a megaphone like a battle commander sending his hero into war. Lin Zikin's opponent lumbered forward, a muscle mountain of a teenager from Shanghai #1 high. He had biceps that could file for their own citizenship and an ego to match. Not bad first year, he said, looking down at Lin. But the stage isn't meant for shorties under 170. I'll show you the power gap. He flexed his arm. The flex echoed. Somewhere, a protein shake cried. The referee raised his hand. Ding! The big guy charged forward with the subtlety of a tank. His punch came like a meteor. Lin Zikin calmly tilted his body to the side. And then boop, a short, clean punch to the chest. The sound that followed was like someone had fired a cannon inside the gym. The muscular teen flew backward, face first, unconscious before he hit the mat. The announcer froze, mic trembling. VV victory for Lin Zikin? On the sidelines, Xin Qinghan jumped up and yelled. That's my Xiao Qin! The rest of Shanghai High's team swarmed Coach Gua, screaming like they just won the lottery. He's insane! All that muscle was just decoration! Bros built different. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ring, the opposing coach was absolutely losing it. What did I say about footwork? His fallen student, of course, couldn't respond. He was somewhere in dreamland, probably reliving his kindergarten years. Back in the ring, Lin Zikin got a crisp system notification. Tournament rival defeated. Elimination count, 2,100. He clenched his fist, feeling the satisfying weight of progress. The opposing coach, still clutching his clipboard like a drowning man clings to driftwood, pointed to his next fighter. Chen Fang. Crush him. Chen Fang, cool, calm, composed, stepped into the ring. He wasn't cocky like the last guy. He looked like someone who actually trained instead of just skipping leg day for 5 years. The announcer signaled the start. Chen Fang moved like lightning, striking with flawless technique. But Lin Zikin caught the kick with one hand. Chen Fang's expression went from, "I got this," to, "Oh no." Then, with all the grace of a helicopter crash, Chen Fang spun midair and landed flat on his back. KO. Medics sprinted in with a stretcher. Someone shouted something about getting a head scan. The crowd was stunned. What just happened? Is he hacking? This tournament is rigged. A few furious parents demanded refunds. Meanwhile, the opposing coach sat on the bench, face buried in his hands, muttering, "It's not luck. This kid, he's a monster." And somewhere in the crowd, Lin Zikin cracked his neck, calm and ready. This was just the warm-up. Back in the waiting area, Coach Guo was a changed man. His earlier nervousness had evolved into a kind of manic determination, the kind coaches get right before doing something either brilliant or deeply stupid. He slammed his clipboard down and pointed dramatically at the next fighter. "Jie Fei, you're up. Listen to me carefully. Defense only. Defense. You cannot afford to lose, you hear me?" Jie Fei, a spiky-haired boy with the confidence of a man who never been punched hard enough, nodded coolly. "Relax, coach. I got this." Coach Guo blinked. "No, you don't." But Jie was already walking toward the ring, oozing smugness. Inside, his thoughts were even more self-assured. "That Lin guy? Please. Just lucky. 2 flukes in a row. No way he's stronger than me." After all, Jie Fei was famous, the kind of schoolyard legend people whispered about. He could run 100 meters in under 9 seconds, and rumor had it, his father was a gene fusion user, which meant superhuman DNA. The crowd buzzed like a live beehive. "That's Jie Fei, the lightning sprinter. His dad's a gene fusion user, right? Poor Lin Zikin. His streak ends here." The consensus was clear. Lin Zikin had been impressive, but his reign was about to end. The announcer raised his hand. "Begin." Jie Fei instantly ignored his coach's orders and launched forward with a battle cry that sounded way cooler in his head. His foot sliced through the air with a vicious kick, followed by a flurry of punches that blurred like a tornado. "Flowing water shattering rock fist!" he shouted, performing his signature technique. From the sidelines, Coach Guo's counterpart screamed. "What part of defense did you not understand?" Jie Fei ignored him, grinning confidently. "Defense is for people who can't attack like geniuses." Meanwhile, Lin Zikin, cool as a glacier, simply dodged each blow like he was swatting away mosquitoes. His expression stayed perfectly calm, almost bored. Lin mused mid-dodge. "This flowing water technique is kinda nice. I should learn it." Jie Fei, panting and red-faced, finally stopped swinging. How are you dodging all of that?" Lin tilted his head slightly. "Any other moves, or is that your whole trick?" The taunt hit harder than any punch. Jie Fei roared in rage and unleashed another furious barrage, fists flailing faster than logic. But Lin had seen enough. "All right then, let's end this." In the blink of an eye, Lin sidestepped the final punch and countered with a single devastating kick to Jie Fei's midsection. There was a boom, followed by a gasp from the entire arena. Jie Fei's eyes went wide. His soul seemed to momentarily leave his body as he flew backward and landed flat on the floor, limbs spread, dignity gone. KO. For a few seconds the crowd was dead silent, just the sound of a soda can rolling somewhere in the stands. Then came the explosion. "Let's go! Shao Qin is a beast! 3 straight wins!" Xin Qihan leapt into the air like she was celebrating a World Cup victory, while Coach Guo nearly fainted from joy. "My boy! My prodigy! My golden child!" he screamed through his megaphone, eyes sparkling with fatherly pride and mild insanity. From that point on, the rest of the tournament might as well have been a montage. The next few opponents? Instant knockouts. The rest of Shanghai #1 High? Wiped out by Lin Zikin alone. Over the next 2 days, Lin single-handedly defeated 2 more schools. By the end, Shanghai High stood on the winner's podium holding the championship trophy, medals gleaming, Coach Guo crying like a proud uncle at graduation. But Lin Zikin's mind was elsewhere. He checked his system. Rival count, 161,000. He sighed. "At this rate, I'll need years to unlock the natural selection attribute." Still, there was one bright side. Coach Guo, surprisingly generous in his victory high, handed him 20,000 yuan, his cut of the prize money. Combining that with winnings from his academic competitions, Lin's wallet hit a glorious 30,000 yuan. It was gone within a week. He spent all of it on one thing, ghost shadow squid meat, a rare and ridiculously expensive beast delicacy said to boost one's physique. For several weeks, he ate nothing else. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, squid. Fried squid. Steamed squid. Squid shakes, probably. By the time he'd devoured 30 gene of it, his codex progress for the ghost shadow squid hit 33%. His training intensified. His power grew. By his second year of middle school, he broke through to the next stage, advancing from ordinary Tier 3 to Tier 4. The results were ridiculous. He could now lift 1,890 kilograms with one hand, jump 5.65 meters straight up, sprint 100 meters in 4.49 seconds. In other words, he'd evolved from school martial arts prodigy to walking natural disaster. And Lin Zikin? He just stretched his arms, cracked his neck, and thought, good. Now we're getting somewhere. Time flew faster than Lin Zikin could finish a serving of ghost shadow squid. Before they knew it, he and Qin Han had graduated from Shanghai's middle school division, two bright stars standing at the edge of a new chapter. But when the high school entrance exam results came out, fate decided to throw a brick right through their plans. Qin Han sat in her room, eyes red and puffy, clutching her pillow like it owed her emotional support. Why, Zikin? She sniffled. After all that training, we still can't go to the same high school. Lin Zikin stood there awkwardly, the kind of guy who could defeat martial arts champions but had zero defense against crying girls. He scratched his head. Well, you did great in academics, really. It's just that, your martial arts score wasn't high enough for the elite class at Shanghai High. Her tears doubled. Then what happens now? Zikin sighed, sitting beside her. Actually, the principal of Shanghai High is coming to my house today. Probably to recruit me. Want to come? She looked up, eyes shimmering like sad puppy dog eyes in HD. What's the point? The principal's obviously coming for you. Zikin smiled faintly and took her hand. Then let's make it about us. Before she could protest, he pulled her to her feet and said, Don't worry. I've got a plan. My one condition for staying at Shanghai High, you're my desk mate. Sure enough, a few hours later, Principal Zhao of Shanghai High arrived at Lin Zikin's home, elegant, sharp, and radiating the kind of confidence only someone with tenure and power could possess. For several hours, the principal sat with Zikin, his mother, and Qin Han, discussing everything from education, martial arts training, to how much potential Lin Zikin had. She was practically glowing as she said, You are the kind of student every school dreams of, Lin Zikin. Shanghai High needs you. When the long discussion finally ended, Principal Zhao stood and made her final pitch. If you agree to stay, you may name any condition. I'll make it happen. Zikin's eyes gleamed. This was the moment. He stood, cleared his throat, and said with absolute seriousness, I have only one condition. Qin Han must be in my class. As my desk mate. The room went dead silent. Qin Han froze like a deer caught in headlights. Principal Zhao blinked, then turned to her. Qin Han, that's your name? The girl nodded shyly. The principal smiled. Then it's settled. You'll both attend Shanghai High. Together. Zikin and Qin Han both stared, mouths open, before bursting into smiles of pure joy. Thank you, Principal. They shouted in unison, bowing so fast it almost looked choreographed. And just like that, their future was secured. Before the summer ended, Lin Zikin had one more thing to take care of, his final junior high martial arts tournament. At this point, it was less a competition and more a one-man show. He tore through the brackets with ease, his punches ending matches before the announcer could even finish saying, Begin! Naturally, Shanghai Middle won another championship, and Lin pocketed the prize money like a professional. This time, though, he had a plan. With this money, I can finally finish the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex. He took his winnings, stocked up on squid meat like a doomsday prepper, and headed out to a secluded forest outside Shanghai. Alright, let's do this somewhere quiet. Just in case I explode or something. He began devouring the last of the squid meat, and soon a brilliant blue aura surrounded him. The ground trembled, his system pinged like a jackpot machine, and his body overflowed with power. Codex progress 100%. You have unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex. New attribute, Blessing of Liquid Affinity obtained. The description popped up. Enhances affinity with water. Grants movement freedom and stealth in aquatic environments. Zikin blinked. So, I'm basically a better swimmer now. He stared at the limp squid tentacles in his hands, unimpressed. Still, to be sure, he decided to test it. At a nearby pond, Lin Zikin slipped into the water like a man testing the world's least exciting superpower. He waited. Nothing. Then he realized. My skin's not wrinkling. He swam a few laps. Oh, less resistance. That's something, I guess. After a while, he sat waist deep in the pond, staring at his reflection, looking more like a depressed mermaid than a martial artist. All that effort, for a glorified bath perk. He sighed deeply, then smirked. Fine. It's a low-tier beast. Can't expect too much. Next time, I'll get a real one. His thoughts drifted to the giant mutant rats he'd once encountered. The image reignited a spark inside him. He clenched his fist, eyes burning with determination. No more small fish, or squid. From now on, I'm hunting the big ones. And with that, the young prodigy's next evolution truly began, dripping wet, slightly annoyed, and more determined than ever. As the start of the new school year approaches, Lin Zikin and Shenning Han's families decide to take a short seaside vacation. Lin suggests they go to the beach, partly to relax, but mostly to test his new liquid affinity. Once they arrive, Shin Han immediately starts shivering. "It's freezing," she complains, hugging herself. Lin, however, feels perfectly comfortable, his body seemingly in sync with the sea. "You'll get used to it." He laughs before diving gracefully into the waves. Underwater, his system instantly reacts, swimming +1, diving +1, rewarding him for each stroke. From the shore, Shenning Han nervously calls out, "Zikin, teach me how to swim." Realizing she's never learned, Lin wades back and begins teaching her. He expects it to take hours, but she surprises him. Within minutes, she's gliding effortlessly through the water. "Hey, this is actually easy," she says, diving smoothly below the surface. Lin blinks in disbelief. There's no way, he thinks. Her learning speed is unnatural. Then he notices something even stranger, a faint blue aura swirling around her body underwater. When she surfaces, eyes bright with excitement, she exclaims, "It feels amazing! My eyes don't sting at all, the water feels nice." That's when Lin's brain kicks into overdrive. Wait, could her childhood bedwetting problem actually be a sign of water affinity? He remembers stories from his parents' novels, characters born with rare cultivation bodies. The more he thinks about it, the more it fits. To test his theory, they dive again, exploring the underwater world. Minutes pass, then 10, yet Shenning Han shows no sign of running out of breath. Suddenly, her expression changes. A deep, echoing hum vibrates through the water. They both look up, and the sea itself begins to swirl with glowing blue light. Shenning Han gasps, clutching her ears. "It's a voice!" she cries, panic in her eyes. They rush to the surface, the glowing current fading around them. That night, as they walk along the moonlit shore, Lin gently asks what happened. Shivering, she explains, "I heard a woman's voice whispering, over and over. I couldn't understand the words, it was right by my ear." Lin comforts her and later searches online for answers, but finds nothing. Restless and uneasy, he decides to train instead. As he performs his 1000th weighted sit-up, his system suddenly chimes. Collision, breakthrough achieved. Advance to ordinary tier 5, collision. A rush of energy floods his body. His speed, strength, and reaction time skyrocket. Testing his limits, he sprints across the empty beach, 100 meters in just 3.64 seconds. With a single leap, he soars nearly 7 meters into the air. Curious, he grips a nearby parked car, and effortlessly lifts the 1.6-ton vehicle with one hand. Breathing hard, he grins under the moonlight. Tier 5, finally. Now, even those monstrous mutant rats that once terrified him no longer seem invincible. As dawn breaks, his path feels clearer than ever. The vacation ends, and with newfound power and curiosity, Lin Zikin and Shenning Han return to Shanghai High to begin their next chapter. The first day of high school begins with Lin Zikin and Shin Han arriving early for class duty. The classroom is quiet, until two girls walk in and immediately start whispering. "Isn't that Lin Zikin? He's so handsome. Lucky us. We get to do class duty with him." Lin pretends not to hear, but internally he's confused. How do they already know me? Before he can think too much about it, his system dings. Lightbulb, new quest, social animal. Complete 1000 cooperative tasks to unlock new biological attribute, social animal. He stares at the glowing blue window in disbelief. Even cleaning class triggers a quest now? As he sweeps beside Shin Han, he wonders what kind of attribute, social animal, could be. Increased teamwork ability? Social charm? Party buffs? Either way, it's something new, and that's enough to keep him interested. After school, he heads straight for his favorite place, the Mammoth Supermarket. The moment he enters the beast meat section, his eyes sparkle. Rows of exotic meats glow faintly with stored life energy. But one item catches his attention. Eagle Savage Giant Eagle Head, 1,998 yuan per gene. A grin spreads across his face. Perfect. The Savage Giant Eagle, a higher tier aberrant beast known for its monstrous speed and vision, 30 times sharper than a normal human's. The kind of power any fighter would kill for. That night, back in his room, Lin Zikin lays his hand over the packaged eagle meat. A blue light pulses through his palm as his system hums to life. Sparkles, devoured trace of Savage Giant Eagle's life essence. Guidebook progress plus 1%. He does the math quickly. 1 gene equals 1% progress. Meaning, he'd need 200 gene, or over 200,000 yuan, to fully unlock it. He sighs but grins anyway. Fine. Then I'll just win more tournaments. With renewed determination, he decides, before his second year, he will unlock the Savage Giant Eagle's Code DX. The next morning, school officially begins. The teachers introduce themselves one by one. The calm yet intimidating martial arts instructor. The eccentric mechanical modification teacher. The serious gene fusion lecturer. and the gruff wilderness survival veteran. Then it's the student's turn. A long-haired girl, Chu Yuyutan, introduces herself as an arts specialist. A bubbly pink-haired girl, Jianya, proudly says she loves anime, cosplay, and sports. Next, a quiet boy, Panhua, admits he mostly plays video games. Then, it's Xinqing Han's turn. Blushing bright red, she stands and stammers. And my name is Xinqing Han. I like drawing, please take care of me. Finally, Lin Zikin stands up. He simply says, Lin Zikin. I look forward to working with everyone. Ben sits down again. Short. Cool. Mysterious. After class, a brown-haired girl named Chu Rui approaches Xinqing Han. Hey, what was your entrance exam score? Xinqing Han smiles nervously. 709. Chu Rui gasps. That's over 10 points higher than mine. Amazing. Then Chu Rui leans closer. What about your physical test score? I only got 95. Panic flashes across Xinqing Han's face. Mine wasn't that good. Chu Rui keeps guessing. 94? 93? While Xinqing Han shrinks into her seat. Her actual score was 79, barely enough to pass into the elite class. Before she can sink any lower, a sudden thud interrupts them. A hand slams onto the desk. It's Lin Zikin. He leans forward, casually smiling. Hey, mind if I add you on WeChat? Chu Rui freezes, then blushes furiously. Why yes. Of course. Xinqing Han watches in relief as Lin deflects the conversation, silently thanking him for saving her from more embarrassment. Then Lin turns to a boy named Yu. Let's add each other too. After connecting, he immediately creates a 4-person group chat. Ding! White heavy checkmark, cooperative task +1, progress, 2/1000. He smirks. Easy progress. The 4 start chatting and quickly bond. Yu reveals he's from Manhwa City and ranked 8th in their youth martial arts tournament. Chu Rui proudly mentions her family runs a clothing store chain. Lin and Xinqing Han share their Shanghai backgrounds, and soon the group feels like fast friends. Then Yu grins. So, who do you think's the strongest in our class? Chu Rui doesn't hesitate. Obviously Lin Zikin, he was top scorer in the whole district. Yu's jaw drops. Wait, seriously? Lin just chuckles modestly. Not necessarily. The principal recruited 2 powerhouse transfers from Manhwa City. He points across the room. First, Wang Shuer, a blonde-haired prodigy who can run 100 meters in 7.98 seconds. And next to him, Lu Gang, a massive boy who can lift a 300 kilograms barbell with one hand. The class collectively gasps. Even Xinqing Han looks awed. Lin Zikin, however, just smirks inwardly. 7.98 seconds? 300 kilos? I surpassed that years ago. When the bell rings, everyone lines up for textbook distribution. This semester's subjects: martial arts, gene fusion, mechanical modification, wilderness survival. Lin glances at the pile of books and smiles faintly. He's already studied all of it. As the others chatter excitedly, he quietly slips away, looking for a secluded place to train. His high school journey has just begun. And with his new social animal quest, new friends, and a new beast goal, Lin Zikin is ready to rise higher than ever. Flexed biceps fire. As Lin Zikin trains alone, his thoughts drift toward darker matters. The rat god cult, still active, still dangerous. Sure, the cops caught a few small fries. But their leader, the infamous Rat King, is still out there somewhere, plotting. That thought lights a fire in Lin Zikin's chest. He clenches his fist, eyes sharp as steel. I need to reach Tier 6 fast. Only then can I face that monster head-on. Cut to outdoor forest scene, wilderness survival class. The first practical class finally arrives, wilderness survival. Their teacher, Shi Chungbei, stands dramatically in front of the students like some old kung fu master. He smiles and asks, So, who knows how to make a fire by drilling wood? The class goes quiet. Then Hugh mutters, That's useless, bro. Just use a lighter. Everyone chuckles, until, out of nowhere, Wang Shi and Lu Gang step forward like their contestants on Survivor, Shanghai edition. And shockingly, they actually manage to light a fire. The teacher's jaw drops. Impressive. How'd you two learn this? Lu Gang grins. Summer camp. Wang Shi smirks. Tutorials on YouTube. Classic. Then, not to be outdone, Lin Zikin quietly gathers his group, gives a 30-second explanation, and boom, everyone in his group starts fires like pros. The teacher stares. This kid's something else. Cut to martial arts class. Instructor Yao Yuanfeng introduces a new cultivation technique, explaining it with deadly seriousness. But before he even finishes, Wang Shi and Lu Gang jump in again like self-proclaimed experts. Oh, this one? We already know it. Their demonstration? Let's just say it's more interpretive dance than cultivation. Lin Zikin already mastered this technique ages ago, but he decides to stay quiet and play it cool. No need to flex, yet. Fast forward, montage music. A month passes uneventfully. Classes, training, and a whole lot of humble domination from our boy Lin. But peace never lasts long. Cut to mechanical modification class. Teacher Kayufei burst into the classroom with energy. Pop quiz everyone! Let's see what you've learned! Groans echo across the room. Then he adds, to make things interesting, I'm offering cash prizes. 888 yuan for first. 666 for second. 333 for third. And instantly, the whole class is wide awake. Lin Zicken's eyes narrow. 888 yuan. That's almost half a gene of savage giant eagle meat. He's locked in. The class dives into the test. Pencils fly. Heads sweat. And right after that, because fate loves chaos, the gene fusion teacher announces another test. With the exact same prize money. Everyone groans in despair. 2 brutal exams in a row. When it's all over, the classroom looks like a post-apocalyptic battlefield. Students slump over their desks, moaning. I thought I'd get 90. I'll be lucky if I pass. One girl sighs. Meanwhile, Wang Shu and Lu Gang? They're chilling like kings. How'd you do? Asks a classmate. Wang Shu smirks. 95 easy. Only tripped on the last question. Lu Gang nods. Same here. 95. He grits his teeth, fists trembling. Oh, I hate these guys. Dramatic drumroll, results time. Teacher Kayufei starts reading scores. Guanling, 52. Xin Qihan, 61. She beams with pride. Lin Zicken congratulates her. Hiu, 88. The class cheers, he grins proudly. Guess I'll treat you guys with my 333 yuan prize. Then, the top dogs. Lu Gang, 95. Wang Shu, 95. The two smirk, acting like celebrities on a red carpet. But the teacher isn't done. One student got a perfect score. Lin Zicken, 100 points. The room erupts. Hiu's jaw drops. Bro's not human. Even Xin Qihan and Chu Rui are cheering like it's a championship match. Meanwhile, Lin just raises his hand calmly. So, when do I get my 888 yuan? The teacher blinks. You really care about the money that much? Yes. Cut to Gene Fusion class results. This time, the Nan Yuan duo stumble. Lu Gang, 81. Wang Shu, 83. Their egos deflate faster than a popped balloon. Xin Qihan scores an impressive 78, ranking in the top 5. But once again, first place, Lin Zicken, 100 points. Another perfect score. Another 888 yuan. The classroom explodes. Wang Shu and Lu Gang can't take it anymore. This is rigged. No one gets full marks twice. The teacher glares. I wrote every question myself. So unless you're calling me a liar. Dead silence. Hiu and Chu Rui burst out laughing. Disgrace to Nan Yuan. Uncultured and ugly. The class howls. Cut to Wilderness Survival Exam. New day, new battlefield. Teacher Shi Chungbei explains the challenge. Climbing. Swimming. Fire starting. Same prize money. The Nan Yuan duo glare at Lin. This time, we crush him. The whistle blows. Climbing test. Lin scales the wall like Spider-Man. Leaving everyone behind. First place. Again. Tree climbing? Same story. Wang Shu wheezes. I didn't even see his shadow. But while Lin dominates, he notices Xin Qihan struggling, finishing last. He smiles knowingly. Just wait till the swimming test. Next, fire starting. Lin moves like lightning, sparks flying. 58 seconds. Fire achieved. The teacher's jaw drops. Wang Shu and Lu Gang stare like they've just seen witchcraft. Finally, swimming. Xin Qihan dives in, and transforms into a torpedo. She blazes through the water, leaving everyone gaping. Wang Shu mutters. No way. Am I hallucinating? Lunch break, awkward silence. Wang Shu and Lu Gang don't speak. They just stare at their food. It tastes like failure. Afternoon, martial arts exam begins. Instructor Yao Yuan Feng announces. Time for sparring practice. 888 yuan on the line. The Nan Yuan duo's eyes light up. This is it. Our redemption arc. Before the fights, they run physical tests. Lin Zicken holds back, but still dominates. 100-meter dash, 7.78 seconds. One-hand lift, 330 kilograms. Vertical jump, 2.18 meters. He takes first in all three, just barely beating the duo on purpose. They're stunned. How is he faster than us? And stronger? He doesn't even look jacked. But they shake it off. Fine. Stats mean nothing in real combat. Sparring arena, crowd buzzing. Lin steps into the ring first. No one volunteers to fight him. So the teacher calls up a random student, Louis. The fight lasts 1 second. Bam! Louis out cold. Then another. And another. Lin sweeps the class like he's farming XP. Wang Shu and Lu Gang are pale. He didn't even go all out in the tests. Suddenly, Hugh stands up, pointing at Lu Gang. You! Let's go! Lu Gang grins. I'll end this in 30 seconds. 30 seconds later, he is on the floor, coughing up his lunch. Lu Gang smirks. Good technique, but still weak. Then Lin steps forward. Now it's my turn. Lu Gang freezes. But pride won't let him back down. He charges. And Lin's figure vanishes. Before he can blink, wham! Lu Gang flies out of the ring, hits the wall, and doesn't get up. The crowd explodes again. Only Wang Shu remains standing. Everyone starts chanting. Go avenge your bro. Don't chicken out. Wang Shu snaps. Shut up. I was gonna fight anyway. He charges at Lin with everything he's got. And Lin just catches the punch midair. With a single counter-strike. Wang Shu flips upside down, crashes into the floor. And starts foaming at the mouth. Game. Over. Lin Zikin doesn't even break a sweat. He checks his system. Survival of the fittest achievement. Progress updated. But then he realizes, repeats don't count. That means, only the girls are left. He glances around, wondering if any of them will even dare. And to his surprise, every single one of them raises their hand, smiling. Oh, he says. This might get interesting. A swarm of blushing girls floods the ring, hearts practically floating out of their chests, all itching for a chance to face Lin Zikin. First up, Chu Yutong bravely waves her hand and jumps in, moving faster than you'd expect from a high schooler. She launches a flurry of attacks, but Lin? He's on another level. Dodging effortlessly, leaving afterimages behind, Chu can't even touch him. She lands gracefully, sighing. Wow, his speed is insane. Close but no cigar. Face with tears of joy. And just like that, one by one, the other girls step up. Lin Zikin holds back. He's not here to hurt anyone, just to rack up wins and finish his survival of the fittest achievement. Match after match, he easily defeats every girl, all while staying casual. Officially undefeated, but unofficially? He's just getting started. Before he can pout about the lack of tough opponents, the teacher drops a bomb. In 1 month, your class will spar against the strongest regular class in the second year. Be ready! Direct hit. Lin's eyes sparkle. Finally, real competition. Meanwhile, the previously arrogant Lu Gang slinks over, humbled, and admits. Okay. Lin Zikin, you're officially my rival for the next 3 years. Wang Shuyer isn't far behind, grumbling about avenging his humiliation. Lin? He's already counting the cash he's earned from exam prizes, over 3,000 yuan. Beast meat, here he comes. Money with wings. Night falls, and Lin's mind turns practical. He's still short on beast meat. Solution? Web novel hustle. With his celestial root of wisdom, the first chapter practically writes itself. Morning brings a contract from Yuan, Cha-ching. Scroll. Then, horror hits. A news alert, a giant mutant rat, over 5 meters long, attacked a frozen meat facility. One heroic cyborg tried to stop it, got bitten in half. Explosions ensued, rat obliterated. Lin stares at the photo in disbelief. Shanghai has monsters, and he now realizes the city is crawling with potential nightmares. Face screaming in fear. Fast forward to the sparring day against the second-year elite class. Gym packed, excitement high. Teacher Yao Yuanfang calls a strategy huddle. Their class is stronger overall. Finish fights fast. And Lin? He rushes to the ring, eager to crush as many opponents as possible. First opponent, a tall blonde girl. She instantly complains, pointing at Lin. Why me first? I'm the weakest. Chaos ensues as Teacher Yao angrily confronts the opposing teacher. Lin is told to step down. He reluctantly complies. Qu Shenning-han, nervously volunteering as the weakest link. The blonde girl swings hard. Shenning-han blocks. Outmatched? Totally. But she survives, strategically, draining the blonde's stamina. 3 minutes in, the blonde is panting, shocked at Shenning-han's defense. A final punch ends the match, Shenning-han defeated, but victorious in spirit. Lin pats her head. You lasted over 3 minutes. Huge progress. Partying face. Next up, a brown-haired girl jumps in, sees an exhausted blonde, charges, and is instantly overpowered by the senior's superior skill. Chu Rui, fueled by determination, steps in next. She lands a single devastating punch, and the crowd goes wild. Shenning-han cheers. That's my girl. Lin casually explains. Chu Rui's victory? Easy. She just benefited from Han draining the stamina first. 2 hours in, the elite class evens the score. Teacher Yao smirks at second-year teacher brother Fun. 4 fighters left. Real showdown begins now. Q Hayu, cracking his knuckles like a cinematic anime protagonist. Dramatic stance, fists thirsty for battle, and then proceeds to obliterate his opponent with a swift kick. Purple-haired senior? Too slow. Hayu dodges, counters, and knocks him out. Crowd goes wild, Chu Rui and Shenning-han cheering louder than ever. Hayu keeps streaking, defeating 5 in a row before fatigue finally hits, defeated by the 6th. Face with steam from nose. Next, Wang Shuyer, the Nanwan duo's hope. He goes all out, demolishing 10 opponents in a flurry. Exhaustion eventually catches him on the 11th. Then Lu Gang, cool and confident, dispatches 2 more opponents in record time. Only one left, Wang Jinhee, a mountain of a student, fat and towering. Lu Gang laughs. I got this. Punches, nothing. Solid rubber belly vibes. Rapid attacks? Absorbed. Lu Gang is gasping, beaten by sheer size and resilience. Wang Jinhee casually lifts him, hurls him out of the ring. Elite class now down to 1 fighter, Lin Zikin. Teacher Yao exhales, unsure, but encourages Lin. Do your best. Experience matters. Lin just smiles. Don't worry, I've got this. Smirking face. The stage is set. The final battle of the day. Gym practically shaking. Stakes sky high. And Lin Zikin? Calm, collected, ready to sweep everyone and continue his achievement grind. Lin Zikin steps into the ring like a calm storm, and Wang Jinhee towers over him, or at least he thinks he does. The massive guy eyeballs Lin and scoffs. This weak-looking kid? My class's final ace? From the sidelines, Sheninghan, Chu Rui, and the girls aren't having it. They start chanting, heckling him with arrogant fatty, and teach the dead pig a lesson. Pig-face collision. Annoyed by the taunts, Wang Jinhee decides to be generous. Like, ridiculously generous. He offers Lin a handicap. I'll just stand here and let you hit me 10 times. Go ahead, don't complain later that I was bullying a smaller opponent. Lin Zikin's eyes light up. 10 free hits? Don't mind if I do. Without hesitation, Lin launches a single, devastating punch straight into Wang Jinhee's massive belly. The force? Astronomical. Wang Jinhee spins like a ragdoll, crashes onto the floor, and is instantly KO'd. Flushed face silence. Then, the elite class erupts into tears, cheers, and celebration. It's chaos. Even Wang Jinhee slowly opens his eyes, muttering in disbelief. This makes no sense, unscientific. Meanwhile, the second-year teacher sidles up to Yao Yuanfang, whispering, That kid is insane. 1 punch and Wang Jinhee goes down. Reminds me of Wyan. Yao laughs. Strong, yes, but Lin Zikin isn't Wyan Ching level yet. That guy terrorized the principal as a first year. Lin, curious, steps over. Who's Wyan? Cue the legend recap. Yao excitedly explains, Wyan Ching, a first-year prodigy from a few years back, demolished the entire third-year elite class. Stats? 100-meter dash in 6.12 seconds, 3.96 m vertical jump, and a one-handed 650 kilograms barbell lift. Lin nods, smiles nervously, but internally thinks, Yeah, I had that strength back in 6th grade summer break. No biggie. Smirking face. That night? Victory celebration. Clinking beer mugs, teacher Yao raises a soda. Lin Zikin secured our win. Guess who's footing the bill for everyone? Yep, the second-year teacher. The class erupts into cheers. Lin's now surrounded by classmates like Haiyu and Chu Rui, all clamoring for his training secrets and WeChat info. Lin just blinks. Too much attention too fast. Meanwhile, Sheninghan quietly loads food onto his plate. Old habits die hard. Then, suddenly, she panics mid-celebration. Bathroom, need to go! And rushes off. Lin just smiles internally, thinking. Some things never change. Cut to the restroom gossip session. 2 girls spill tea. She fawns over him like a maid. Drinks shrimp, so lame. The other adds. How did she even get into the elite class? Clearly riding his coattails. Overhearing this, Sheninghan's heart sinks, but she doesn't sulk. Oh no. She storms up, hands on hips, and declares, I am not a sycophant. I am his childhood friend. Deal with it. Flex biceps. Later, walking home, Lin notices she's still upset. She confides softly. Mom said I'd grow out of it, but I still have to wear diapers to bed. I feel disabled. Lin kneels slightly, placing his hands on her shoulders. You're not disabled. This? It's a superpower. You just haven't unlocked it yet. Sheninghan's eyes widen. A superpower? Really? Lin nods. Your talent in water? That's your power manifesting. And me? Yeah, same deal. We're both special. She gasps. What kind of power do I have? Lin smirks. One very strong one. You'll see. But reality bites. Outside, chaos unfolds. A special team in hazmat-like gear coordinates near a building. An officer with a megaphone yells for the public to stay back. Rats are being exterminated. Inside, a man in an apron is wildly swinging a broom at a horde of huge rats, screaming at the officers. Stop! Don't kill my brothers! He charges them, full-on fury mode. Sheninghan whispers, horrified. Has he lost it? Lin shrugs, grim. Maybe, but some people are just like that. Pathetic yet tragic. They agree it's time to head home, because sometimes, reality is just too wild to watch. Later that night, Lin Zikin is chilling at home with his parents, only to have the evening vibes completely ruined by the news. The anchor reports that a young female teacher went missing last week, and she's still MIA. Cue mom, Jiang Wangxin, freaking out. That's the 4th one this month. Dad Ever the pedant corrects her. 5th. Definitely 5th. The broadcast flashes photos of young, attractive women and warns everyone not to wander alone at night. Mom looks at Lin Zikin dead serious. You better not let Shanning Han go anywhere by herself. Lin just smirks and promises to keep her safe. Meanwhile, over at the Shanghai Public Security Office, the dude from the market, remember the one freaking out over rats, has been arrested. The cops are chatting with the doctor, wondering if he's mentally ill. The doctor shrugs. Not sure, he won't talk. Which is weird because earlier at the market he was screaming like he was auditioning for a horror movie. Suddenly, both the officer and the doctor do a double take. The man starts mutating. His body twists, grows, and warps, and boom! In front of their eyes, he becomes a giant, terrifying, aberrant rat. Cue the horror music. Rat face screaming in fear. The officer screams into his radio like it's the end of the world. Send the cyborgs! Now! They open fire, but bullets barely tickle the beast. To make matters worse, the female officer reports. All cyborgs are on other missions. Director grimly adds. Back up? 10 minutes away, and our ammo won't last that long. Plan B, lure it to the suburbs. The cops hop into a van, speeding through the city streets while the rat beast leaps between buildings like it's playing parkour. The van flips, crashes, chaos ensues, and the female officer hangs upside down, thinking, well, that went poorly. Just when it looks hopeless, enter the purple-haired cyborg. She hovers, locks on, and rains down purple missiles like it's an anime finale. The monster? Toast. Fire.
Fast forward to 3 a.m., and Lin Zichen is not training. He's writing. Yep, our boy is a web novel author now, cranking out words like a machine. In just over half a month, he's almost at 200,000 words, and has already made over 10,000 yuan in pre-launch earnings. Cash money. But he can't resist training. In a deserted alley, he tests his sprint. 3.43 seconds for 100 meters. Vertical jump 7.22 meters. He's basically becoming a saintly body. But then, no. He turns to see a grotesque rat-like humanoid, a mouse man, chomping on a human arm. And it talks. Yep, it begs for its life, promising annual respects once it's full. Lin Zichen, ever the realist, realizes this is probably connected to the mutant rat from the news. The mouseman panics, thinking Lin is dinner. It lunges like a pinball on steroids. Lin Zichen? Calm. He meets it head-on with a devastating kick. The mouseman flies across the alley, clutching its chest, stunned at how a weak-looking student could pack such a punch. Before it can recover, Lin grabs rocks like he's in an action movie and unleashes a frenzy of precise throws. The mouseman doesn't stand a chance. Moments later, the alley is quiet. The creature, obliterated into a steaming pile of bones. Lin touches the remains, and blue energy surges into him. System notification, plus 7% progress toward his codec achievement. Not bad, but he's still a bit salty. It wasn't 5% like last time. Moments later, the purple-haired cyborg arrives, hovering over the bone pile, muttering, "Who the heck killed this thing?" Meanwhile, in a shadowy building, things get seriously creepy. A hooded cultist drags an unconscious woman to a glowing red summoning circle. He's about to offer her to the Lord Rat God, who is apparently very hungry and not impressed with tiny human portions. The cultist tries to explain, but the rat god isn't having it. It demands bigger prey, or even young men if women are scarce. Then, a bloody chunk of meat lands in front of the cultist. He gobbles it like it's fine dining, muttering thanks to the Lord Rat God. Suddenly, massive red tentacles shoot out, lift the girl into the air, and the multi-eyed rat god eats her whole. Crunch, chew, gulp. The cultist probably wishes he had a backup plan. And just to rub salt in the wound, the rat god complains, "Don't feed me ordinary people next time. Nobles only. I want tender meat." To help Xining Han boost her martial arts grades, Lin Zichen takes on the role of personal coach extraordinaire, hosting special training sessions at her house. In one particularly intense session, he corrects her stance, adjusts her shoulders, and fine-tunes every arm movement like a martial arts perfectionist. Balance, power, precision, he instructs with the seriousness of a sensei, and just enough smirk to remind her he's awesome. Once her posture is perfected, he tells her to hit him with everything she's got. She lunges with determination, throwing a punch full of intent. Lin Zichen casually catches her fist, grinning, "Nice angle! Much more power!" He even grabs her follow-up kick, points out a flaw, and physically nudges her leg into the correct position. Xining Han collapses onto the floor, sweaty and panting, but she beams. "I can actually feel my strength improving." Still kneeling, she looks up at him with determination. "3 times a week isn't enough. Can we train every day?" Lin Zichen chuckles and shakes his head. "Daily high-intensity training would fry your body. 3 times a week is plenty." Xining Han sighs, but wisely decides to stick to the plan. For now. Just then, Lin Zichen's phone buzzes. Curious, Shenninghan leans in. He scrolls through two headlines. 1. Guian Corporation to provide free treatment for former mechanical prodigy girls disabled by early modifications. 2. Beijing University prodigy fuses with thousand-threaded spider beast gene, youngest person ever to achieve dual gene fusion. Lin Zichen's jaw drops at the second one. This is the genius from the capital he's been competing with for years. Most people can't handle gene fusion until adulthood. The backlash is brutal. But this prodigy pulled it off at just 18. Lin Zichen leans back, impressed, and slightly envious. So yes, gene fusion can make you ridiculously OP. Meanwhile, at home, Lin Zichen's other life is booming. His web novel is a hit. Comments call him a tentacle monster for posting 50,000 words in a day. Thanks to his celestial wisdom root and insane typing speed, he can punch out 10,000 words an hour, leaving plenty of time to train. His dad, Lin Yan, estimates that with a stable plot and daily writing, Lin Zichen could earn 50,000 W in the first month, and maybe 100,000 W later. Lin Zichen grins like he's discovered the secret to life itself. Cash for training materials. His first goal? Use his first 2 months' earnings to unlock the Savage Giant Eagle Codex.
Back at school, martial arts class is chaos. Lin Zichen dominates a sparring session like a human cheat code, defeating every opponent effortlessly. Punches? Dodged. Kicks? Blocked. He even collects prize money, another 888 yuan, and experience points toward his survival of the fittest achievement. Shenninghan, on the other hand, isn't quite a superstar yet. She ranks last as usual, but now she has bite. Flashback. Her previous match against Wen Yuntong lasted 3 seconds. This time? Almost 3 minutes of trading blows, landing punches and kicks. Her teacher, Yao Yuanfan, nods in approval, impressed by her progress. Chu Rui tries to comfort her, but it's clear the girl has leveled up. After class, Yao Yuanfan drops a bomb. In 1 month, their class will challenge the elite second-year class, aiming to take out everyone except the top 3 fighters. The students roar their agreement. Spirits high, hearts pumped. A month passes, and Lin Zichen's web novel empire has grown. Checking his bank account, he sees a healthy 89,000 W. Jackpot! He heads straight to the supermarket to finally buy Savage Giant Eagle meat. A helpful employee informs him about a 5% discount if he buys 100 gene at once. Lin Zichen pauses, calculating like a general preparing a battle plan, and decides to wait until he can buy the full 100 gene. Discount efficiency is power. The next day, Shenninghan drags him to the cafeteria, bubbling with excitement about a new stir-fry counter. They get there early, snagging a table just before the line turns into chaos. Suddenly, a loud argument erupts. One student accuses another of cutting in line. Shenninghan spots the voice. It's a you. She asks if they should intervene. Lin Zichen casually glances over. Nah, probably unnecessary. He says, confident that Heyu's natural aura is intimidating enough. Wrong. Heyu is outnumbered. The leader of the bully crew calls him a punk and surrounds him with friends. Panic? A little. But Lin Zichen? Cool as ever. Shadowed face, calm tone, he clamps a hand on the bully leader's shoulder. Please line up properly. The leader smirks, challenging him. Lin Zichen just grins slyly, pulls out his phone, and says, I'll report you. The leader scoffs. Reporting is shameful. Lin Zichen leans closer, voice calm, deadly. Cutting in line? That's way more shameful. The bullies, now realizing they picked the wrong fight, retreat in frustration. Cafeteria peace restored. Lin Zichen sits back, takes a bite of stir-fry, and thinks, yep. This is why people like me. The scene shifts to a lavish villa in one of Shanghai's wealthiest districts, where the rat god cult is holding a secret meeting. Shadows dance across the room as the cult leader, a mysterious man in a black hooded robe, sits on a throne-like chair, addressing his followers like a dark CEO of evil. Sha Chang is dead, he announces, voice dripping with foreboding. He went crazy at the market and provoked the security squad. One cultist mutters, good riddance, and a few others nod in agreement. The leader's eyes then glitter as he introduces a newcomer, a young man stepping into Sha Chang's shoes. He relays a chilling new command from their Lord Rat God. From now on, the cult must only capture and sacrifice nobles. Ordinary people? Too bitter. Only the creme de la creme will do. A couple of cultists raise concerns. Capturing nobles is too risky. One missing rich kid, and the authorities will come down on us. The leader, unfazed, suggests starting with the sons of wealthy but powerless merchants, high value, low risk. Then, turning to the newcomer, he says, You're new. Don't go after nobles yet. Just capture a handsome young man as a practice sacrifice for one of our subordinates. The newcomer's hood hides his face, but his grin is unmistakable. I won't just capture any handsome man. I'll offer the most handsome man in the entire city to the divine child. He declares, exuding eerie confidence. Meanwhile, back at school, Haiyu is still stewing over the cafeteria incident. He informs Lin Zicken that the students who cut in line are from Class 3 of the second-year honors class, the same class they're scheduled to challenge. Lin Zicken, leaning casually against the lockers, quips, "Good grades don't guarantee good manners." His expression darkens as a news alert pops up. Another wealthy heir has gone missing, the 5th in a row. No ransom demands. The pieces click into place. The rat god cult is active. Lin Zicken grimly notes. They're targeting nobles now. The day of the class showdown arrives. The students gather in a massive gym with 2 fighting rings, tension crackling like static electricity. The cafeteria bullies glare at Hayu, and he gives them a defiant gesture back. The rings roar to life as the sparring matches begin. Shanning Han steps up first. Her opponent, a senior from the honors class, launches a fierce kick. Shanning Han blocks it and promptly gets crushed by the sheer force. Down she goes. The seniors continue to steamroll the first years. Chu Rui and others are swiftly defeated without landing a single hit. Victory for the first years finally comes when a muscular, short-haired girl lands a powerful kick on a senior, but it's short-lived. A red-haired senior storms the ring, a whirlwind of destruction, knocking out 9 first years in under 10 minutes, including 3 boys. The first-year survivors are now down to 4. Lin Zicken, Wang Shuo, Lu Gang, and Hayu. The second-year class has only lost 5 students, all girls. Their teacher Yao Yuanfang clenches his fists, realizing the gap in strength is frightening. Hayu, your turn. Yao Yuanfang instructs. He's tasked with taking on the remaining 6 female seniors. Motivated, and admittedly distracted by the thought of fighting attractive seniors, Hayu confidently agrees. True to his word, he defeats all 6 girls with surprising ease. Then it's the boys' turn. A senior from the honors class storms into the ring, stomping menacingly. Ready to die? He growls. Hayu smirks. This is the bully from the cafeteria. Revenge time. Wrong move. The bully is fast, blistering speed, and lands a punishing punch to Hayu's stomach. Down he goes, knees hitting the mat. He tries to retaliate, but a swift kick sends him flying out of the ring. Humiliated and sore, he curses himself for underestimating the opponent. Now it's Lin Zicken's moment. The bully, smirking, challenges him. Wanna try your luck? Lin Zicken's eyes glint. Gracefully stepping into the ring, he thinks, finally, someone worth my attention. The crowd erupts. Cheering classmates chant. Brother Chin, crush him! Avenge Hayu! The match begins. The bully launches a high kick. Lin Zicken doesn't flinch. He catches the kick with one hand, spins, and slams the bully headfirst into the ring floor with such force the entire gym echoes with the impact. Out cold. Lin Zicken casually kicks the unconscious body out of the ring. The second-year students gape in disbelief. He's one of our top 5 strongest fighters, murmurs one. The others are speechless. Could a mere junior really be this powerful? Watching from the sidelines, Yao Yuanfang notes, Lin Zicken is hiding a massive amount of strength. Lu Gang and Wang Shuo exchange terrified glances. Is he even human? Lin Zicken calmly turns to the remaining male students. Who's next? Their faces twist in sheer panic. Over the next 30 minutes, he defeats all 29 remaining second-year students with unmatched precision and efficiency. Standing over the final opponent, Lin Zicken reflects on his progress. A system notification pops up. Opponents eliminated, 19/1000. He frowns. 19 out of 1,000? Slow, far too slow. In that moment, Lin Zicken makes a bold decision. His strength has surpassed the high school level. Rules? Who needs them? From now on, he makes the rules. It was Monday morning at Shanghai High, and the principal's office was rocked by a gasp so loud it could have shattered glass. Inside, the principal stared at Lin Zicken like she had just seen a unicorn lifting weights. Wait, you actually want to hold a personal challenge match, with rewards? She asked, blinking rapidly. Lin Zicken, ever the fearless first year, nodded. Not just a match, he said boldly. I want to challenge the entire school. The principal pressed a hand to her forehead. You're serious? A first year. Challenging everyone? Absolutely. Lin Zicken replied, grinning. Come to the gym. I'll show you I have the strength for this. Later, the two of them arrived at the empty gym. The principal crossed her arms, skeptical. Why bring me here so late? She asked. Lin Zicken casually removed his school jacket, revealing a muscular build that could double as a bodybuilder's poster. He smirked. I'm here to show you my true power. The principal's face went beet red. She misread his meaning and tried to stop him. Wait. But Lin Zicken strode over to a massive 700 kilograms barbell. With one hand, he lifted it effortlessly, holding it aloft like it was a feather. The principal froze. Her jaw practically hit the floor. This isn't just showing power. This is absurd. Unreal. Unthinkable. It finally clicked. Lin Zicken's strength already surpasses Yanqing, the school's legendary prodigy from years past. Completely convinced, she gave a small, incredulous thumbs up. Fine, she muttered. We'll arrange a challenge for the entire school. Lin Zicken grinned cheekily. Perfect. But let's make sure there are rewards. Otherwise, nobody will bother challenging me. He outlined his plan: 2 types of prizes. A small participation prize to entice everyone, and a massive cumulative prize pool that grows with each challenger. Anyone who defeats him wins the entire pool. But if no one succeeds in the time limit, all the money is his. Lin Zikin added one final request: keep my true strength secret for now, otherwise the students would be too terrified to even show up. She playfully patted his shoulder and nodded. Later, she showed him the finalized plan. Perfect, he said, bowing slightly. Just then, teachers Yao Yuanfang and Lu Duran walked by. They stopped in their tracks, stunned. The principal, usually a fearsome, scolding she-devil, was smiling at Lin Zikin like he'd just given her free ice cream. Yao Yuanfang's mind scrambled. What is going on? By 2 p.m., the gym was packed. 2 large fighting rings stood in the center, surrounded by a buzzing student body. The principal took the microphone, clearly trying to keep a straight face, and introduced Lin Zikin. She detailed his recent victories and explained the rules and prizes for his personal challenge against the entire school. Pandemonium erupted. Students shouted, laughed, and mocked the audacity of a first-year daring to challenge everyone. The principal must be insane, someone yelled. He beat the second years, so what? Third years will crush him, another argued. Lin Zikin, standing calmly in the middle of the chaos, announced. Starting tomorrow, I'll be in the gym every afternoon for 2 hours. Anyone is welcome to challenge me. Internally, he was quietly thrilled. The more angry and motivated the students, the better. Perfect for my survival of the fittest quest. Meanwhile, the scene shifted to a bustling Shanghai street at night. A young blonde man strolled alone, sipping a drink like he owned the sidewalk. 2 attractive women stepped in front of him, inviting him to a bar. He glared. Get lost, he said bluntly. They muttered, no charm at all, and walked away. The blonde man shook his head, muttering, Shanghai City, you really are pathetic sometimes. He wasn't just any guy. He was a new recruit in the rat god cult, struggling with his first mission. After days of searching, he hadn't found a single man handsome enough to be a worthy sacrifice. Anxiety gnawed at him as he imagined his cult leader's disappointment. Failure would mean ostracism, or worse. He had even considered kidnapping a male celebrity, but they were too heavily guarded. Just as despair began to settle in, Lin Zikin ran past him, wearing a tank top and shorts. The cultist froze mid-step. His eyes widened. Finally, the perfect man. Relief and twisted excitement washed over him. He had found his target without even trying. A sinister grin spread across his face, black eyes gleaming in the night. Lin Zikin's run down a deserted industrial alley? Perfect. The opportunity had arrived. The cultist quietly followed, his heart racing with anticipation. Tonight, he would claim his prize. Deciding it was finally time to put an end to things, the blonde rat cultist unleashed his power. And instantly went through a grotesque transformation. His body contorted, limbs elongating unnaturally, teeth gnashing, until he had become a monstrous beast, a towering horror with a massive tooth-filled maw. Just as the creature lunged, ready to feast on Lin Zikin like some nightmarish candy, a brick flew out of nowhere. Smash! It hit the monster square on the head with a sickening, bloody impact. The beast stumbled, clutching its head in confusion and pain. From the shadows, Lin Zikin calmly emerged, holding the very brick he had just thrown. Well, I didn't expect to run into a rat person on my evening jog, he muttered casually to himself. But hey, free upgrade progress for my guidebook. Can't complain. The monster trembled in terror, trying desperately to comprehend the human in front of it. It felt incredibly unlucky, like rolling a 1 on every dice in life. Before it could react further, it collapsed, dead as a doornail. Lin Zikin blinked in disbelief. Did I really just kill it with a single brick? He crouched beside the corpse, preparing to absorb its life essence before any nosy humans wandered by. A system notification pinged. Trace of giant mutant rat life essence devoured. Guidebook progress 8%. He frowned. Only a 1% increase? Pathetically low. No wonder this rat person was so weak. Thinking about his safety, Lin Zikin decided to take a break from nighttime runs. Not all cultists were this feeble. Some could transform into monsters strong enough to shrug off bullets like mosquitoes. The next morning, Lin Zikin watched a shocking news report on television. At 3 a.m., the Shanghai Municipal Public Security Bureau, working alongside a chemical tutor from Shanghai University, had successfully wiped out the rat god cult. The broadcast showed the insane battle. The massive multi-eyed rat king launched a terrifying volley of sharp spikes at a winged, red-haired gene fuser. The tutor endured, dodged, countered, and in 30 seconds, the colossal rat king was defeated, collapsing in defeat. Lin Zikin sat, expression grim, thinking, that's the true power of a high-level being. Unreal, formidable beyond anything I've faced. Meanwhile, in a sleek, modern room, Two men in tactical gear were having a casual chat. A blue-haired man, sipping from a cup, asked, "Have you contacted our teacher yet?" Tian Chang, a spiky-haired orange guy, shook his head. "Still out of contact. The entire elite squad that went to suppress the riot at Source Site 36. Still missing." The blue-haired man raised an eyebrow. "Current situation?" "Stable," Tian replied. "If it weren't, I wouldn't be free to mop up the little shrimp that escaped during the chaos." Little shrimp. The blue-haired man smirked internally. The Rat King, a monster that even the Public Security Bureau couldn't touch? Just a little shrimp compared to Tian. He playfully draped his arm over Tian's shoulder. "Since you're here, why not swing by our old school? Give the juniors a lecture." Tian groaned. "I'm not an idol. I have real work to do." "Come on," the blue-haired man insisted. "Guiding cute juniors is work too. Think of it as ideological outreach." Deep in a moonlit cavern, the Rat King had survived its fight with Wu Tian. It muttered darkly about its dietary evolution, first beggars, then young people, and now, the pampered elite. But it wasn't alone. A new, terrifying monster loomed, a colossal green-skinned brute with glowing red eyes and unimaginable strength. The Rat King trembled as the giant beast berated it. "I brought you here so your clan could dig tunnels. Not so you could go around eating people and attracting unwanted attention. Do you think you deserve to live?" The Rat King whimpered, pleading for another chance. The green giant considered it. Finally, it allowed the Rat King a second chance, but not for free. Without warning, a clawed hand slammed down, striking the Rat King with brutal force. Blood sprayed, filling the cavern in a horrifying spectacle. The giant casually holds the bloody eyeball and comments. "Smells terrible, tastes great. Yes. This monster has food reviews." He then reveals the bigger twist. The Rat King that fought earlier? A decoy. The real one had been hiding all along. Clever, but not clever enough. Final warning delivered. Fail again, and you die. Meanwhile, back at Shanghai High. The tone flips from horror movie to school battle festival. It's the day of Lin Zicken's personal challenge. As he walks to the gym, students whisper like he's a celebrity mixed with a lunatic. "That's the first year who challenged the whole school. Is he insane or confident?" Probably both. But Lin Zicken isn't listening. He's on his phone, looking at wanted posters. 9 fugitives. 500,000 reward each. To him? Not criminals. Walking piggy banks. Then his practical side kicks in. Stay alive first. Money later. Smart protagonist energy activated. He enters the gym. Packed. Overflowing. Absolute chaos. And then the secret weapon of motivation appears. Shin Xinghan with a megaphone. "Every participant gets a lottery ticket." The boys cheer. "Game consoles. Smartphones. Dreams." One brave boy steps forward, only to be used as a stepping stone by a girl who literally jumps on his head to volunteer first. And suddenly, female student stampede. The ring floods with girls. But instead of fighting, they start admiring. "Your arms are so strong. Your face is so handsome. Is this a challenge or a fan meeting?" Lin Zicken's internal monologue. This was not in the plan. Reluctant but determined, he gently pushes them back. One by one. Then all at once. Energy wave. Ring cleared. Apologies included. System notification. Survival of the fittest, 309/1000. Progress achieved through accidental popularity. Next wave, the boys. A muscular student steps forward, cracking his knuckles like thunder. "Now it's my turn." One punch later. He's asleep. Opponent after opponent falls like dominoes in a windstorm. System climbs to 419/1000. Soon Lin Zicken stands atop a literal mountain of unconscious students. Calmly asks, "Who's next?" The crowd parts. A new challenger enters. Yan Xiaoan, second-year overlord. Whispers spread. "He once defeated a whole class alone. He's legendary. He got humbled by a teacher once, but still legendary." Yan lands dramatically and begins a motivational speech. "There is always someone stronger." Lin Zicken turns to the referee. "Can we start?" Match begins. Yan continues talking. Kick. He flies across the ring like a human comet and embeds into the wall. Lin casually cleans his ear. Finally, silence. The gym falls into stunned quiet. Reality.exe has stopped responding. Then, clap. 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 Slow. Deliberate. Heavy footsteps approach. A muscular student with spiky red hair walks through the crowd. No shouting. No bragging. Just presence. And everyone instantly knows. The real fight is about to begin. The crowd freezes for half a second, and then erupts. They've recognized him. Chen Wuking, the undisputed #1 student in the entire school. Cheers explode across the gym like fireworks. Everyone instantly assumes. Alright. Now the real show begins. Across the ring, Lin Zikin watches him approach and casually thinks. Ah, classic. Beat the younger ones, and the elder boss shows up. Chen Wuking lands inside the ring with a confident smirk, arms crossed. I never expected Yan Xiaoquan to lose to a junior. He prepares to launch into what is clearly going to be a long motivational speech. But Lin Zikin turns to the referee and calmly asks, Can we start? Chen hasn't even finished inhaling. The teacher, slightly panicked, starts the match anyway. Instant disrespect. Maximum efficiency. Enraged, Chen Wuking charges forward, blue aura blazing around him like a superpowered comet. It seems I'll have to beat you before you listen. Lin Zikin steps forward, his own fist glowing with a golden aura. Boom! Their punches collide. A shockwave blasts across the arena. Dust rises. Hair flutters. Several students almost reconsider their life choices. Chen tries to speak, almost apologetic. But Lin Zikin simply says, I'm in a hurry. One punch. Chen Wuking flies backward. Shirt torn. Eyes wide. Face frozen in pure disbelief. The strongest student in the school. Instantly defeated. The entire gym goes silent. Not quiet. Silent. The kind of silence where even thoughts echo. With every top fighter down, Lin Zikin turns to the stunned crowd. Points at a random student. You. Get in the ring. The boy looks behind him. Me? Yes. You. The student nervously asks him to go easy. Lin Zikin smiles and reminds him. You'll get a lottery ticket. Motivation level, maximum. The boy charges in. One punch later, sleep mode activated. System notification. Survival of the fittest +1. And just like that, the entire student body realizes something important. There is no shame in losing, if prizes are involved. A tidal wave of enthusiasm sweeps the gym. Students rush the ring for smartphones, consoles, and pure gambling hope. What follows is less a tournament, and more a systematic harvest of victories. Left. Right. Down. Next. Each opponent falls in seconds. Each defeat ticks the counter higher. Until finally. System notification. Achievement complete. Survival of the fittest acquired. 1,000 opponents. Quest complete. Lin Zikin clenches his fist. Victory. Satisfaction. Mild exhaustion. The grind, finally paid off. Reward description. Biological attribute. Survival of the fittest. Increases damage against living beings. He strokes his chin. Practical, but why won't it tell me the exact percentage? Classic system vagueness. Challenge over. He jumps down from the ring. The girls complain it ended too fast. The boys are still recovering their consciousness. Without wasting time, he grabs Xinqing Han's hand and exits the gym like a victorious protagonist leaving a battlefield. Later, the principal's office echoes with laughter. She congratulates him on officially becoming the school's #1 fighter. Leaning closer, she teases. You defeated Chen Wuking instantly. You're definitely hiding your real strength. Lin Zikin sips his drink calmly. Only a little. She doesn't believe him for a second. She brings up Chen's Kyoto University entrance exam. 690 kilograms one-handed barbell lift. Her estimate? You must be at least 800 kilograms. Internally, Lin nearly coughs. If only you knew. Out loud he says. 795 kilograms. The principal beams triumphantly, convinced she cracked the code. Then Lin raises his hand with pure sincerity. So, when do I receive the 8,810 yuan prize money? The principal bursts out laughing. Little rascal. Funds transferred instantly. But he's not done. He makes a small request. He and Xinqing Han enjoy swimming. So could they have exclusive access to the school pool? Closed to everyone else during their sessions. The principal agrees surprisingly fast. Then he adds another detail. He'll be covering the security cameras because he doesn't like being watched in swim trunks. Xinqing Han instantly turns red. The principal's imagination goes absolutely wild. She slides a key across the desk with a knowing smile. The pool is yours. Then she leans in and whispers. Just don't create a new life in there. Lin Zikin blinks. What does that even mean? As they walk down the school hallway, Lin Zikin glances at the key in his hand, the key to the private swimming pool. A thought crosses his mind. With exclusive access, I can finally understand the true nature of Xinqing Han's abilities. Before he can go deeper into his thoughts, Xinqing Han suddenly stops him. She hesitates for a moment, clearly nervous. I have a favor to ask. She explains that she signed up for a singing competition. While she has practiced her solo parts, she still needs someone to help her rehearse the duet section. Looking slightly embarrassed, she softly asks if he can practice with her that evening. Lin Zikin agrees without hesitation. Her face instantly lights up. She pumps her fist in excitement, and happily skips away down the hallway. Lin Zikin watches her leave, a faint smile forming. He knows how much this competition means to her, and silently hopes it helps her gain confidence. Later that night, inside Shinqing Han's apartment, the two sit in her room practicing. She sings into a microphone with focus and emotion, while Lin Zikin listens, playing the duet parts from his phone and occasionally guiding her timing. Meanwhile, in the living room, her parents are listening. Her father frowns slightly. Is it really appropriate for them to be alone in a room together at this age? Her mother immediately shuts him down. They're childhood friends. What exactly are you worried about? She shoots him a sharp look. Don't meddle. The man instantly retreats into silence. Back in the room, Lin Zikin overhears enough to get the message. He stands up calmly. We've been practicing for half an hour. Time to focus on studying. As he prepares to leave, he reminds her. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to the pool. Bring your swimsuit. She nods happily. They say their goodbyes and he heads home. Alone in her room, Shinqing Han's thoughts begin to spiral. Tomorrow, the pool, just the two of us. Her face turns bright red. She nervously opens her closet and pulls out 2 swimsuits, laying them on her bed. A modest blue one-piece. And a bold black bikini. She picks up the bikini, her blush deepening. Isn't this too revealing? Her imagination runs wild. A playful scene of splashing water, laughter, being close to him. She freezes. Then shakes her head. It's just him. It should be fine. With sudden determination, she stuffs the bikini into her school bag. The next day after school, the gym's swimming pool is completely empty. Lin Zikin is already there, standing by the pool in his swim trunks. His toned physique is impossible to ignore. He glances at the security camera above, remembering his promise. I'll deal with that later. Just then. Lin Zikin! He turns. Shinqing Han stands at the entrance, wearing the black bikini. She walks toward him with a soft smile and a shy blush, apologizing for making him wait. On the outside, Lin Zikin remains perfectly calm. Slow down. Be careful. On the inside, she looks way too cute. He quickly regains composure. Let's begin. The two step into the water. They swim side by side, moving smoothly through the pool. Underwater, Lin Zikin takes her hand, guiding her movements. Then suddenly, her eyes widen. Something feels wrong. She quickly signals him, pointing upward in urgency. Understanding immediately, Lin Zikin grabs her and propels them both to the surface. They break through with a splash. He steadies her, concern in his voice. What happened? Her face is filled with shock, but also excitement. The water, it's passing through my body. To prove it, she lowers her hands beneath the surface. Right before his eyes, the water flows straight through her palms, as if her hands aren't even solid. Lin Zikin's expression sharpens. This isn't normal. This is her ability. He reaches out and gently takes her hand, examining it carefully. Aside from the strange phenomenon, nothing seems physically different. He thinks for a moment, then says seriously, We need to check further. Let's get out of the pool. Shinqing Han freezes, then slowly nods, her face turning red once again. Shortly after, Shinqing Han is lying on a poolside lounger, completely soaked from Lin Zikin's tests. As he pours water over her again, she pouts slightly and asks how much longer this examination is going to take. After checking multiple times, Lin Zikin finally straightens up and concludes there are no other abnormalities. Helping her sit up, he calmly explains that for now, it seems only her hands have this strange ability. She nods, processing it. Sitting at the edge of the pool, Shinqing Han hesitates before asking something personal. Could her lifelong bedwetting problem be related to this power? Maybe another part of her body also lets water pass through. Lin Zikin pauses, then admits it's possible. He tells her that next time she feels the urge, she should pay attention and inform him. Then, realizing how that sounded, he awkwardly adds that she should check if any other part of her body feels like her palms. Immediately, he regrets it. That sounded way too suspicious. But Shinqing Han doesn't take it that way at all. Instead, her face lights up with excitement. She clenches her fists and declares that this means she isn't useless, she's a superpower user. A water-type ability. Her eyes shine with determination as she thinks. If she can fully develop this power, maybe she can finally stand beside Lin Zikin as an equal. That night, the story shifts to a neon-lit city filled with towering buildings and glowing holographic ads. Lin Zikin walks into a supermarket, where a friendly clerk greets him. Without hesitation, he walks to the counter, slides his card forward, and makes a shocking request: 100 gene of savage giant eagle meat. The clerk freezes. That's an absurdly expensive order. Still, she nervously processes the payment and takes down the delivery address. As Lin Zikin leaves, she watches him in disbelief, wondering which rich young master just casually spent that much money. Later, in a deserted industrial area, the delivery arrives. Lin Zikin looks at the massive box and reflects on his finances. With 120,000 yuan earned from his web novel, his total funds now stand at 210,000. More than enough. He places his hand on the beast meat. Instantly, a violent surge of white energy erupts around him. A system notification appears. He is devouring the savage giant eagle's life source. The codex progress hits 100%. Then comes the vision. A majestic white eagle soaring across the sky, diving into the ocean, hunting a massive purple squid with terrifying precision. As the vision fades, Lin Zikin stands surrounded by glowing blue light. Another notification appears. He has unlocked the savage giant eagle codex. New ability acquired, Eye of the Sky. His vision sharpens instantly. His eyes glow gold, pupils transforming into eagle-like patterns. The world changes. His field of view expands dramatically, giving him a near bird's-eye perspective of the entire city. He zooms in effortlessly, locking onto a single person in a crowd, even reading text on a phone from an impossible distance. Lin Zikin smirks. So this is the vision of an apex predator. Later, he returns home. Inside, his parents are watching a disturbing news report. A high-level gene fuser has mutated in public, causing massive destruction. The footage shows a horrifying winged monster lifting a truck, surrounded by chaos and casualties. The broadcast cuts to a heated debate. One man argues that gene fusion is flawed, that humans should evolve naturally. Another immediately shuts him down, calling it fantasy and pointing out that without gene fusers, humanity wouldn't stand a chance against aberrant beasts. Lin Zikin watches silently. His father sighs, calling gene fusers uncontrollable bombs. His mother disagrees, explaining that regulations are strict and such incidents are rare. But she adds something more concerning: gene fusers often lose the ability to have children. His father nods seriously, suggesting it's better to have children before undergoing fusion. Then suddenly, they realize Lin Zikin is standing there. Awkward silence. His mother quickly changes tone, greeting him with a slightly embarrassed smile. Seeing the situation, Lin Zikin calmly suggests they have dinner. During the meal, he casually mentions that the school will hold a singing competition tomorrow, and Shinqing Han is participating. His parents instantly light up. His father declares they must all go support her. His mother eagerly agrees, saying Shinqing Han is like a daughter to her. Lin Zikin simply nods, a faint smile on his face. The night of the competition had finally arrived, and it was huge. Bright lights flooded the stage, the crowd buzzed with excitement, and the entire venue felt electric. This wasn't just a school event anymore, it was a full-blown spectacle. And in the audience? Lin Yangxing and Zhang Wangshan were going all out. Wearing headbands, waving a glowing sign, and cheering like absolute fanboys for Shinqing Han. Faced with tears of joy meanwhile, backstage in an empty classroom, Lin Zikin was helping Shinqing Han get ready. Not just helping, he was casually showing off pro-level makeup skills. When she opened her eyes, she froze, because he was staring at her. Blushing instantly, she asked, "Why are you looking at me like that?" Lin Zikin just smiled and said, "You look beautiful." Boom. Direct hit. Shinqing Han turned completely red. But of course, right when things got soft and romantic, Chu Rui popped in like, "Oh? Are you two done flirting yet?" Smirking face, Shinqing Han panicked and started explaining it wasn't like that, but Chu Rui wasn't buying it. She teased them for acting like an old married couple, then casually reminded them they were up after the next two performers before leaving. Now the mood shifted. Lin Zikin said he'd walk her over, but she didn't move. She sat there trembling. Then suddenly she grabbed his jacket, face red, voice shaking, and blurted out, I lost control again." Her nervous condition had triggered. A stain spread across her dress. And just like that, she broke down crying. "The performance is about to start. I ruined everything, everyone will hate me." But Lin Zikin? Completely calm. He held her face and said, "Stop crying. Your makeup will be ruined. Priorities." Skull. Then his eyes landed on the curtain, and boom, idea. He grabbed scissors, ripped it down, spread it out, and started cutting fast and precisely. Shinqing Han watched in shock as he transformed a random curtain into a beautiful multi-layered white dress. Yeah, this man is built different. He handed it to her and told her to hurry and change. But she blushed and said, "No need, just turn around." Lin Zikin, flushed face full panic mode. Still, he turned around. Behind him, she changed. He couldn't see, but he could hear everything. Bro was fighting for his life. Faced with tears of joy meanwhile, Shinchinhan, now calmer, even stretched a little before putting on the new dress. Finally, she said he could turn around. He did, and froze. She looked stunning. Completely transformed. She smiled and said that after crying, she wasn't nervous anymore. Lin Zikin just smiled and patted her head. Moments later, they stepped onto the stage, and absolutely crushed it. Energy, confidence, perfection. The crowd went wild. Then came the result. The winners are Lin Zikin and Shinchinhan. The audience erupted. They hugged in pure joy. And in the crowd, Lin Zikin's father watched with a proud smile. The next day, though, reality hit. Faced with tears of joy, a teacher walked in, saw the missing curtain, and lost it. Who cut the curtain? Yeah. They were caught instantly. Punishment, cleaning the entire classroom. While mopping, Lin Zikin thought it was fair, but then ding. System notification. Achievement unlocked, cooperated 1,000 times. Reward, gregarious animal attribute, meaning the more allies around him, the stronger he gets. Even punishment turned into profit. Smiling face with sunglasses. Meanwhile, Shinchinhan's life completely changed. After her win, she became popular. Other girls praised her, invited her out, and for the first time, she confidently said yes. Even her martial arts skills improved steadily. And Lin Zikin? He leveled up hard, winning a major martial arts tournament, the first for his school in 5 years. Trophies filled his room, his fame skyrocketed, and he even landed an endorsement deal as the face of the Hay family martial arts gym. Money started pouring in. Between that and his web novel income, he had over 900,000 yuan. Which meant one thing, time to unlock the next codex. He went to a secluded area and picked up a package. Inside? The remains of a hidden dragon, a stealth-type creature. He placed his hand on it, and a powerful blue aura erupted around him. System voice, devouring life source. Codex progress 100%. New ability unlocked, natural camouflage. This skill was insane. He could lower his presence, hide his true strength, or move like a ghost for ambushes. Perfect for deception. Perfect for domination. And after all that? Lin Zikin casually walked through the city. Because even after a massive power-up, he still had something important to do, buy a cake for his mom. Birthday cake. His thoughts were suddenly cut off by a loud shout. Lin Zikin turned, and froze. Not far away, a stunning red-haired woman was being forcefully escorted by 2 guards in full tactical gear. The tension in the air was immediate. Then, unexpectedly, a young man involved in the arrest called out his name in surprise. Lin Zikin looked closer, and recognized him. It was Zhang Kai, a senior from his school. But what really caught his attention were Zhang Kai's legs. Sleek, powerful, completely cybernetic. Zhang Kai explained it casually, like it was nothing. After failing to get into high school, he had become a biker. One accident later, his legs were so badly damaged they had to be amputated. But fate flipped the script. He was selected for a mechanical modification experiment by the Mechanical God Group, and instead of remaining disabled, he became a cyborg. Lin Zikin was intrigued, but his gaze shifted back to the woman. Who is she? He asked. One of the guards answered coldly. She was a remnant of the Rat God cult, the only female among 9 fugitives. Before Lin Zikin could ask more, Zhang Kai was called away. He waved with a grin, saying they talk later, and hurried off. Lin Zikin waved back, but his expression slowly turned serious. Something didn't add up. The public security department had searched everywhere and found nothing. Yet the Mechanical God Group captured one so easily? Yeah, that group was dangerous. Not to be underestimated. His thoughts were interrupted again, this time by his phone. His mother, Jiang Wangxin. She asked if he bought the cake and when he'd be home. He replied he was already on his way. She reminded him to be careful. That night, the atmosphere completely changed. It was a celebration. Since his and Shinchinhan's birthdays were only a day apart, both families always celebrated together. Laughter filled the room as everyone sang happy birthday. Turning 18, the two stood side by side and blew out the candles together. Their mother smiled warmly and told them to exchange gifts. Everything felt perfect, until suddenly, the ground began to shake violently. The room trembled. People stumbled. Someone shouted, "Is it an earthquake?" Lin Zikin instantly grabbed Shinchinhan to steady her, but something felt off. This wasn't normal. This wasn't just an earthquake. Something was wrong. Terribly wrong. Deep beneath the city, the truth was revealed. A massive underground cavern, filled with an endless swarm of rats. Countless glowing red eyes flickered in the darkness as the horde surged upward like a living nightmare. The next morning, the news brushed it off. A TV anchor calmly explained that Shanghai wasn't located on a tectonic plate boundary, so a major earthquake was unlikely. Citizens were told not to panic. At breakfast, Lin Zikin finished eating and said he was heading to school. His father reminded him to be careful. Outside, Shenning-han was already waiting. She smiled brightly and asked if they could walk together. Of course, he agreed. As they walked, she happily mentioned that now they were officially adults after turning 18. Lin Zikin added that the college entrance exams were approaching. That immediately made her nervous. Just thinking about it was enough. Time passed, and eventually, Lin Zikin saved enough money to unlock another codex. This time, he targeted the Void Crocodile. As he activated the process, a powerful purple energy spiraled around him. System notification, devouring life source, progress 100%. A vision flashed before his eyes, a massive crocodilian beast with fish-like fins, swimming desperately as it tried to escape the savage giant eagle. Then, another notification. Codex unlocked. New ability acquired, danger perception. The system explained it clearly. He could now sense hostility from nearby creatures and even estimate their biological level. In simple terms, no more surprise attacks. To test it, he went to a crowded shopping mall. As he walked through the crowd, his perception activated. Instantly, he could see everyone's strength. Most people were only ordinary tier 1 or 2, normal civilians. While browsing a supermarket, he started planning his next codex target. That's when he saw it, life and death toad meat. His eyes lit up. If absorbed, it could grant regeneration or healing abilities. But then he saw the price. 100,000 per gene. Yeah, nope. Even with his web novel income, he couldn't afford that regularly. His expression hardened. If he wanted to keep growing stronger, he needed more money, and fast. The scene shifted to the Nanjiang Provincial Education Department. Inside a high-level office sat Mo Dongji, a striking woman with light purple hair and antler-like horns. Vice Principal of Shanghai University and Minister of Education for the province. She calmly listened as a subordinate finished his report on the province's education system. Taking a sip of her drink, she thanked him before asking about something else. Origin Site number 36. Her assistant replied with relief. It had finally stabilized. If it hadn't, the entire province could have been in danger. With nothing more to discuss, she dismissed him. Left alone, Mo Dongji stood by the window, staring at her reflection against the backdrop of a tropical beach view. She murmured to herself, it had been many years since she last accepted a disciple. And now, the martial arts college entrance exam was approaching. An intense, 9-day ordeal that would decide everything. The first day of the exam was divided into 2 parts, a written test in the morning and a physical fitness assessment in the afternoon. From the 2nd to the 8th day, students would be sent into a forest for a week-long survival and combat test. The final 9th day would determine their aptitude for gene fusion and mechanical modification. June 7th, the first day. Lin Zikin and Shenning-han walked together toward the exam venue, but she was clearly nervous. She tugged lightly on his sleeve, her voice trembling as she admitted how tense she felt. Her biggest fear was losing control of her bladder again. Lin Zikin looked at her, then smiled warmly. Without hesitation, he pulled her into a gentle hug and told her not to be nervous. Holding her close, he reminded her that her theoretical knowledge was solid, and she had already taken precautions. She was prepared. All she had to do now was try her best. His closeness made her blush deeply. Flustered yet comforted, she nodded and promised to do her best. Then, gathering courage, she told him he had to do his best too. He chuckled and agreed. During the written exam, Lin Zikin sat calmly, his expression relaxed as he filled in the answers with ease. The questions posed no challenge to him. He finished long before time was up. With nothing else to do, he rested his head on his hand and began casually brainstorming new plot ideas for his web novel. After the exam ended, he stepped outside and immediately noticed Shenning-han walking with her head lowered, looking upset. His heart sank slightly. Did she not do well? He walked up to her, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. He told her gently that it didn't matter too much. They only needed to pass the written portion. But to his surprise, she quickly shook her head and said she actually did very well. She didn't need comforting. Confused, Lin Zikin asked why she looked so troubled then. Her face instantly turned red. Avoiding his gaze, she quietly admitted the truth. She had an accident again. She had wet herself. Embarrassed beyond words, she quickly told him to wait and rushed toward the restroom. Lin Zikin sighed softly and reminded her to hurry. The physical test was about to begin. Later, during the strength assessment, Lin Zikin completely shocked everyone. Standing before a massive barbell, he lifted it effortlessly, with one hand. 950 kilograms! The announcer declared. The crowd erupted. Students stared in disbelief. Combined with his earlier results, a 5.12-second 100-meter sprint and a 4.91-meter vertical jump, his performance was simply monstrous. After finishing her own tests, a tired but determined Shening Han approached him in her gym clothes. He asked how she did. She smiled weakly but proudly. Her results were impressive: a 9.32-second 100-meter dash, a 1.62-meter vertical jump, and a 125-kilogram lift. Then she sighed softly, admitting that compared to him, it still felt lacking. Lin Zikin immediately praised her, telling her that those scores easily placed her among the top female students. He gently patted her head, and she looked up at him, her expression bright with happiness. A while later, their classmate Hiyu ran over excitedly, shouting that the written exam results were out. He mentioned that Wang Shuoji and Lu Gang had scored in the high 80s, while he himself got an 80. Curious, he asked about their scores. Shening Han nervously checked her phone, then suddenly lit up with joy. She had scored an 82. Hiyu froze in shock. Then both of them turned to Lin Zikin. Calm as ever, he raised his phone. A perfect score. Shening Han cheered happily for him, while Hiyu stood there dumbfounded, muttering that Lin Zikin was as freakishly talented as ever. Later, as they walked home, Shening Han admitted she was nervous about the next stage, the week-long forest survival test. Lin Zikin reached out and took her hand. He told her not to worry. He would stay by her side and protect her. Hearing that, she relaxed and nodded, deciding to stick close to him no matter what. Meanwhile, in a hidden private room, two mysterious figures discussed the exam. One of them, dressed in a formal suit and wearing a sinister plague doctor mask, handed a small wooden box to a younger man. The masked man instructed him to make good use of his position as a safety officer. The young man opened the box. Inside were 10 dark, seed-like objects. Demon seeds. The masked man explained they would help him complete his mission. If he succeeded, he would be recommended as an official member of their organization. However, the young man seemed more interested in a different reward, a rare fruit. The masked man scoffed, calling him short-sighted. A single fruit could only elevate him to a mid-tier level, but joining their organization would grant him the potential to become something far greater. After a moment of hesitation, the young man was convinced. He agreed. Becoming a full member was far more valuable. Soon after, a convoy of buses traveled deep into a dense, fog-covered forest. An announcement echoed through the vehicles. The students were about to arrive at the practical exam site. Inside one of the buses, Shening Han was asleep, her head resting gently on Lin Zikin's shoulder. He softly woke her, telling her they had arrived. An automated voice instructed students from Entrance 9 to disembark and head to the assembly area. At the staging ground, thousands of students gathered as officials explained the rules of the week-long test. Score tokens were scattered throughout the forest. Some were hidden in difficult locations, while others were carried by dangerous beasts. Safety officers would be stationed nearby, but asking for help meant immediate disqualification. The deeper into the forest, the greater the danger, and the higher the rewards. Final scores would be determined by collected tokens and performance evaluations from surveillance footage. Out of 100,000 students, only 50,000 tokens existed. At least half would fail. The exam encouraged both cooperation and competition. Students could team up, or steal from one another. They were given 1 hour to prepare. Immediately, chaos broke out as students rushed to form alliances. One particularly loud student began boasting about his father while trying to recruit teammates. His attempt didn't last long. A strict female instructor shut him down instantly, warning everyone against such blatant and disruptive recruiting. Nearby, Lin Zikin and Shening Han sat casually, snacking, when a group of female students approached and invited him to team up. He rejected them without hesitation. Moments later, a young man with brownish red hair walked over and politely asked if he could buy some of their food. Instead of selling it, Lin Zikin casually tossed him a pack of toast as a gift. Surprised and impressed, the young man introduced himself as Hong Junping from a top high school and suggested they form a team. While chewing his snack, Lin Zikin calmly declined. A little disappointed, Hong Junping thanked him for the food and left. Watching him go, Shening Han tilted her head and remarked that he was a bit strange. Lin Zikin gave a faint, knowing smile and explained that the man's real goal had nothing to do with food. It was about the beautiful girl beside him. Realizing she was the target, Shening Han instantly blushed. With the break over, Lin Zikin took her hand, and the two headed into the forest. As they entered the vast wilderness, he chose a cautious approach. To help her adjust, they began searching for score tokens in the safer outer areas. Activating his Eye of the Sky ability, his eyes glowed with golden light as his vision expanded dramatically. Within seconds he spotted a target. He pointed toward a tall tree and told Shening Han there was a token at the top. Without hesitation, she leaped high into the air with incredible agility. Moments later, she landed, holding up a token marked 1, proudly announcing her success. With his enhanced vision, Lin Zikin continued scanning the surroundings, directing her from one hidden token to another. Before long, she had collected several one-point tokens. Overjoyed, she rushed forward and hugged him tightly, praising how amazing he was. Their moment was suddenly interrupted. Hong Junping had returned. Smiling, he held up a large token and claimed he had already gathered 28 points. He said he wanted to repay Lin Zikin, but in truth, he simply wanted an excuse to get closer to Shening Han. He formally proposed teaming up and suggested they split all points equally. Lin Zikin rejected him instantly. He added bluntly that if Hong Junping truly wanted to repay him, he could hand over all his tokens. The outrageous demand shocked him. His expression darkened, and a powerful aura erupted from his body. Enraged, Hong Junping charged forward, shouting that they had chosen the wrong path. Lin Zikin smirked calmly. "No, you're the one who chose wrong." The fight ended in an instant. Lin Zikin delivered a single punch to Hong Junping's stomach. The impact was devastating. He doubled over, coughing blood before collapsing. With the battle over, Lin Zikin casually took his score token and walked away with Shening Han, their hands intertwined. Behind them, Hong Junping lay unconscious. Shening Han glanced back, slightly worried, and asked if he would be okay. Lin Zikin reassured her nonchalantly that he hadn't even used real strength. Over the following days, Lin Zikin continued guiding her training. He helped her collect more tokens, pushed her physical limits by making her lift massive boulders, and taught her survival skills like hunting wild boars. But it wasn't all training. They also shared quiet moments, gathering fruit, resting under makeshift shelters, and enjoying each other's company. At night, when she fell asleep on his shoulder, Lin Zikin would look at her with a soft expression, wishing those peaceful moments could last longer. Eventually, they reached the central region of the forest. A wooden sign stood ahead, marked with a warning, "Danger, Aberrant Beast Zone." But strangely, it was silent. Too silent. There were no beasts, only dark, unsettling bloodstains scattered across the ground. Shening Han frowned, noting that they might have arrived too late. As they walked deeper, she sighed in disappointment, saying that if they had come earlier, she might have earned the genius title by defeating aberrant beasts. Lin Zikin gently patted her head and told her the title didn't matter. It was time to head back. In truth, he knew that with surveillance cameras everywhere, hunting beasts wasn't worth the risk. Training her safely was far more important. After the combat phase ended, the students were transported to the next stage, the gene fusion compatibility test. They were taken by bus to a high-security island facility known as the Island Gene Research Institute. Inside, students lined up as staff prepared for testing. As they waited, Shening Han curiously asked about the reagents in the test tubes. Lin Zikin explained they were derived from the flowing cloud jellyfish, a species known for its high compatibility with human biology. Its genes could easily react with human blood, making it ideal for testing gene fusion potential. The process was simple. Each student's fresh blood would be injected into the jellyfish reagent. The resulting chemical reaction would determine their fate. While waiting for their turn, a nervous Hiyu muttered that he really hoped to pass the gene fusion test, anything to avoid the mechanical modification route. Chu Rui casually added that the mechanical test was rumored to be extremely painful, like being burned alive, since it involved implanting special metal alloys into the body. That was all it took. Hiyu immediately went pale and started praying on the spot. After the blood samples were collected, the students waited about an hour for the results. Soon, notifications began appearing one after another. A girl nearby jumped in excitement, 8% compatibility. She qualified as a gene fuser. Not far away, another student slumped in disappointment with only 4%. Someone else sighed in relief at 6%, just barely passing. The students quickly began discussing the grading scale. 6% was the minimum to pass, 8% was considered excellent, and 10% was the threshold for top universities. Then someone mentioned the Kyoto prodigy, rumored to have a staggering 16% compatibility. Hearing that, Lin Zikin fell into thought. Given his superior physical attributes, he wondered if he might even reach 20%. Beside him, Shening Han grew increasingly anxious and grabbed his arm tightly. Lin Zikin gently took her hand, reassuring her that it was normal to feel nervous. But inwardly, he couldn't help thinking, if her compatibility was too low, she might not be able to keep up with him. Suddenly, Chu Rui let out an excited shout. She had scored 10%, enough for top universities. Hiyu checked his own result and got 11%. Despite it being higher, he looked oddly dissatisfied, as if he expected more. Seeing everyone else checking their results, Lin Zikin pulled out his phone. Shening Han, too nervous to look at her own, asked him to check his first, and then hers. He agreed. A moment later, his result appeared. 15%. An impressive score. Before he could even react, Shening Han threw her arms around him in excitement. declaring that with a score like that, he must be the top student in the entire province. But while she celebrated, Lin Zikin felt slightly disappointed. 15%, it was still lower than the Kyoto prodigy. He quietly concluded that raw physical strength alone didn't determine gene fusion aptitude. Then he turned to Shenninghan and gently told her it was her turn. She nodded nervously. Trying to comfort her, he said that if even he could get a good score, she definitely could too. But the moment he pulled up her result, his expression froze. Shenninghan and Chu Rui leaned in, and instantly mirrored his shock. On the screen was an unbelievable number. 21%. The scene shifted to the Nanjiang Provincial Ministry of Education headquarters, where Mo Dongji was in a meeting with several officials, including the principal of Shanghai High. Mo Dongji calmly announced that the gene fusion results were in. First, Lin Zikin's profile appeared. His 15% compatibility made him the provincial top scholar. The officials congratulated the principal, who smiled modestly while secretly feeling extremely proud. Everything seemed settled. Until the next result appeared. Shenninghan. 21%. The entire room erupted in shock. Officials questioned whether such a number was even possible. The principal herself was stunned, recalling Shenninghan as nothing more than Lin Zikin's quiet, ordinary childhood friend. But this result was anything but ordinary. And Mo Dongji's interest was immediately piqued. She requested more information. The principal hesitated, nervously suggesting it might be a testing error. Mo Dongji sighed softly. There was only one way to be sure. She would see for herself. Back at the testing facility, chaos had broken out among the students. Everyone was talking about the 21% result, questioning whether the system had malfunctioned. Even Shenninghan turned to Lin Zikin in disbelief, asking if it could be a mistake. Lin Zikin shook his head calmly. He leaned closer and explained that she had a natural affinity for water. Since the test used a reagent from a water-type beast, the flowing cloud jellyfish, her result actually made perfect sense. Her eyes lit up instantly. That meant she was a natural genius for water-based gene fusion. A bright smile spread across her face as newfound confidence filled her heart. For the first time, she truly felt she could stand beside Lin Zikin as an equal. Seeing her happiness, Lin Zikin smiled warmly. But their moment didn't last long. Someone suddenly shouted for everyone to look outside. They turned and froze. From the ocean, a massive whirlpool rose into the sky. Water spiraled upward like a towering column, and standing atop it was Mo Dongji. The students stared in awe. Some panicked, wondering if she was a heretic about to destroy the facility. Then she descended gracefully, the water receding beneath her feet. The institute staff immediately recognized her, bowing respectfully as they called out her name. Mo Dongji, vice principal of Shanghai University, a member of a legendary martial arts family said to have tamed dragons and fused with their genes. Ignoring the commotion, she walked straight toward Shenninghan. "Are you the one?" she asked calmly. To confirm the result, she ordered the scientists to draw Shenninghan's blood again, and test it 3 more times. Later, Shenninghan sat with her friends, looking drained after the repeated tests. He asked if she was okay. She nodded weakly, rubbing her arm and admitting it just felt a little numb. Soon, a scientist calls for Shenninghan, and she nervously follows him. She is led into a private office where Mo Dongji is waiting. With a confident smile, Mo Dongji announces that all 3 retests confirmed the same shocking result, 21% compatibility. Without wasting time, she makes a direct, life-changing offer. She wants to take Shenninghan as her disciple. Stunned, Shenninghan stammers, unsure how to respond. To demonstrate what she could gain, Mo Dongji casually lifts water from a glass, suspending it midair before shaping it into a swirling vortex. She calmly explains that this level of control would become effortless for her student. Overwhelmed, Shenninghan asks for time to think, wanting to consult Lin Zikin first. Mo Dongji dismisses her hesitation outright, stating that becoming her disciple brings nothing but benefits. As she continues manipulating the water with ease, she asserts her authority as both Provincial Minister of Education and Vice Principal of Shanghai University. She declares that Shenninghan will attend her university from now on. Leaning closer, she asks if the girl has any objections. Intimidated, Shenninghan quietly replies that she does not. Feeling pressured, she reluctantly saves Mo Dongji's contact information. Mo Dongji then mentions another disciple, Shenninghan's future senior sister, someone of similar age who began training over 10 years ago. She sends a photo. Shenninghan is shocked to see a white-haired girl wielding a spear, standing amid skeletal remains and a monstrous plant. She immediately recognizes her as her childhood friend. When she asks for the name, Mo Dongji reveals it is Luo Qianshuer. Shenninghan recalls a girl named Bai Shuer from elementary school who looked identical but disappeared suddenly. Mo Dongji dismisses the idea that they could be the same person. Still puzzled by the extraordinary compatibility score, Mo Dongji decides to conduct a physical examination. Placing a glowing hand on Shenninghan's chest, she pauses, surprised. Shenninghan grows anxious, asking if something is wrong. Mo Dongji explains the opposite. Her body is too normal, which is highly unusual for someone with such a high compatibility score. To protect her from unwanted attention, Mo Dongji decides to publicly report her score as 16% instead of 21%. Xin Han quietly agrees. With everything settled, she is dismissed and leaves the office, still processing everything. Once alone, Mo Dongji makes a call. On the other end, her father warns her that this new disciple is extraordinarily gifted and must be kept a secret at all costs. He emphasizes that her talent could bring unimaginable rewards, but also danger if exposed. Mo Dongji agrees without hesitation. Later, Lin Zikin rides Xin Han home on his bicycle. He comments on how sudden everything feels. She agrees, still overwhelmed. He suggests they take a cautious approach, observe Mo Dongji carefully. If she proves trustworthy, then accepting her as a master is fine. But if not, they will cut ties once Xin Han becomes strong enough. She nods, agreeing with his plan. When they arrive, their mothers greet them excitedly and announce a celebration dinner. Both families are thrilled. Xin Han is the provincial top scorer, and she and Lin Zikin will attend the same university. At the restaurant, they raise their glasses, celebrating the two top students. After dinner, the families part ways. That night, under a full moon, there is a knock at Lin Zikin's door. His mother opens it to find Xin Han standing there in pink pajamas, flustered. With a teasing smile, she asks if she came to sleep with him again. Embarrassed, Xin Han quickly denies it and insists she has something important to discuss. She rushes into Lin Zikin's room and knocks. When he opens the door, she explains it's about her new master. Sitting on his bed, hugging a pillow, she tells him about the examination. Despite Mo Dongji's immense power, she found nothing unusual about her body. Then she reveals the key detail. Mo Dongji couldn't detect her ability to let water pass through her body at all. Lin Zikin is stunned. He reflects on Mo Dongji's overwhelming strength, her ability to control massive waves, yet even she couldn't uncover this secret. This means Xin Han's true nature is far more mysterious than they imagined. He places a reassuring hand on her shoulder and tells her they must keep this ability hidden for now. Until they fully understand it, revealing it could be dangerous. They can study it later, once they are stronger. Xin Han nods, trusting him completely. She then brings up another topic, recalling that her master mentioned she has a senior sister. Xin Han explains that when she saw the photo, she was shocked by how much the girl resembled her old friend. She shows the image to Lin Zikin. He takes the phone and studies the picture of Luo Qianxue carefully. While he acknowledges the resemblance, he notes that her aura feels completely different from the girl Xin Han remembers. What catches his attention instead is the strange forest in the background. He asks if she knows where the photo was taken. Xin Han shakes her head but decides to ask her master. She sends a message to Mo Dongji, who replies with a single cryptic phrase. Source site. When she asks for more details, Mo Dongji simply responds that she will understand when she becomes stronger. Xin Han relays the response, disappointed she couldn't learn more. Lin Zikin tells her to leave it for now. They can investigate it later. Later, the two lie on his bed, casually scrolling through their phones. After a quiet moment, Xin Han glances at him and suddenly asks if men like women who wear cheongsams. The unexpected question catches him off guard. He immediately thinks of Mo Dongji's elegant style, and wonders if she influenced her. Imagining Xin Han in one, he blushes slightly and admits it depends on the person, but it would suit her. Sensing his reaction, she leans closer and presses him for a clearer answer. Flustered, he finally admits that yes, he likes them. She continues, asking about stockings, black, white, or nude. Completely cornered, he awkwardly answers that he prefers black or white. Satisfied, Xin Han instantly sits up and starts ordering a cheongsam and stockings online, leaving him staring in confusion, wondering what just happened. Their moment is interrupted by a knock. Lin Zikin's mother enters and hands Xin Han a bag, explaining that her mother sent over toiletries and said she should just stay the night. Embarrassed, Xin Han insists she never asked for it, confused why her mother would do that. As she leaves, his mother casually adds that they are adults now, so it's perfectly fine, before closing the door. An awkward silence fills the room. Both of them blush, unsure how to react. Trying to act normal, Xin Han opens the bag and says she'll just change and go to sleep. But as she looks inside, her expression freezes. She pulls out an item and instantly realizes what it is, a box meant for safety. Mortified, her face turns bright red as she wonders what her mother was thinking. Panicking, she blurts out that she's going to change and hurriedly jumps off the bed, only to trip over her own feet and fall face first onto the floor. Lin Zikin sits there, completely stunned, trying to process the chaos. Soon after, both of them receive confirmation. They've been accepted into the Evolution Academy of Shanghai University. The next day, Lin Zikin rides his bicycle through the city with Xin Han sitting behind him, arms wrapped around his waist. They are on their way to a promotional event for the He family's martial arts gym. As they move through the busy streets, Lin Zikin suddenly notices a group blocking their path. A man dressed in black and gold robes stands at the front, accompanied by several men in white martial arts uniforms. He calls out, asking if he is Lin Zikin. Stopping the bike, Lin Zikin asks who they are. The man introduces himself as Lu Chuan-Wu, Dean of Shanghai University's Budo Academy, but clarifies he is here representing an organization called Tianrenhui. This group opposes gene fusion and mechanical modification, believing in strengthening the human body through traditional martial arts alone. Lin Zikin recalls hearing about them but internally dismisses their ideology as outdated. Lu Chuan-Wu formally invites him to join their organization. Uninterested, Lin Zikin simply tells them to move aside. As he tries to pass, Lu Chuan-Wu places a hand on his shoulder, stopping him and insisting on a conversation. He even offers him a new phone as a gesture of goodwill, but the persistence only makes Lin Zikin more uncomfortable. Later, the three sit in a cafe. Lu Chuan-Wu explains that Tianrenhui is researching ways to unlock the hidden potential of pure humans without relying on external modifications. He passionately claims they aim to break biological limits and evolve into higher forms, rare, advanced, even legendary beings. To prove his point, he takes out his phone and shows them a video, confident that what they are about to see will change everything. In the video, Lu Chuan-Wu, who states his own biological level is ordinary tier 9, is seen facing a powerful opponent. He explains that the footage shows him defeating a high-level gene fuser. Lin Zikin watches in shock as he recognizes the winged man in the video as Wu Tianchang, the prodigy who once wiped out the rat god cult. The battle unfolds violently. Wu Tianchang soars into the air and unleashes a deadly barrage of razor-sharp feathers. They pierce Lu Chuan-Wu's body, leaving him bloodied as the winged fighter lands gracefully back on the stage. But despite his injuries, Lu Chuan-Wu charges forward with terrifying force and delivers a crushing punch that sends Wu Tianchang flying out of the ring. As the video ends, Lu Chuan-Wu speaks with conviction. He declares that the human lineage is already powerful enough and does not need to borrow strength from other species. According to him, pure-blooded humans who follow their cultivation path represent the true future. Lin Zikin stares at the phone, his expression filled with doubt. He questions whether the video is real, whether it was edited or if Wu Tianchang intentionally lost. Lu Chuan-Wu immediately dismisses this, insisting the footage is completely authentic. He adds that he plans to challenge even more high-level gene fusers and invites Lin Zikin to witness it himself anytime. Lin Zikin then asks a practical question: why not upload the video online to promote their organization? Lu Chuan-Wu's expression darkens. He explains that those in power do not allow such content to spread. According to authorities, if a method does not raise biological level, it has no future and is not worth supporting. Frustrated, Lu Chuan-Wu slams his fists on the table. He argues that without exposure, they cannot attract talent, and without numbers, breakthroughs are impossible. After all, quantitative change leads to qualitative change. Then, looking directly at Lin Zikin, he says that someone with his talent would never remain stuck at ordinary tier 9 for decades like he has. This surprises Lin Zikin. Internally, he notes that Lu Chuan-Wu looks no older than 50. Almost as if reading his thoughts, Lu Chuan-Wu reveals the truth: he is nearly 100 years old. His youthful appearance, he explains, is the result of their cultivation method. Skeptical, Lin Zikin quickly searches online. The results confirm everything. The official records list Lu Chuan-Wu's birth year as 1929. Surprised, Lin Zikin realizes that this cultivation method truly grants longevity. For a brief moment, he even wonders if his own parents could benefit from it. Scrolling further, he learns more about Lu Chuan-Wu's past. He was once the young master of a powerful martial arts family. But when gene fusion rose to prominence, his family refused to adapt and eventually declined. Their once great dojo fell into ruin. Worse still, his insistence on tradition drove away his own family. His wife and children chose gene fusion and left him behind. As Lin Zikin reads, he reflects on his relationship with Xin Han, confident she would never leave him. But then he sees something that shocks him. The profile lists Lu Chuan-Wu's ex-wife as Yuan Dongji, another name for Mo Dongji. Even more unsettling, the profiles of his children are grayed out, suggesting they may no longer be alive. Lin Zikin looks up from his phone, his gaze sharpening. This man is far more complex than he first appeared. Noticing the stare, Lu Chuan-Wu smirks. He proudly repeats that his longevity proves the potential of pure human cultivation. That is why Tianrenhui exists. He passionately declares that Tianren means humanity conquering the heavens. He argues that those who rely on gene fusion will never surpass the beasts they draw power from, and may ultimately be destroyed by them. The same applies to mechanical modification, since many materials originate from aberrant beasts. Such paths, he claims, can never transcend their origins. Striking the table again, he clarifies that his organization is not entirely against these methods, but opposes humanity depending on them completely. In his view, they are only temporary solutions while a superior path is developed. With intense conviction, Lu Chuan-Wu extends his hand, sincerely inviting Lin Zikin to join Tianrenhui and help shape the future of humanity. Lin Zikin simply raises his hand and declines without a word. Unfazed, Lu Chuan-Wu states that he firmly believes Lin Zikin could become the first pure-blooded human to break past the ordinary biological barrier. Remaining calm, Lin Zikin asks what exactly their cultivation method involves. Lu Chuanwu proudly explains that it is called the blood tempering art, a technique discovered in ancient ruins. It uses one's own qi and blood to refine the body and enhance combat strength. According to ancient records, when mastered, it allows a person to become a saint in the flesh, capable of shattering mountains and tearing apart massive steel beasts with their bare hands. However, Lu Chuanwu reveals a critical limitation. The art can only be practiced by pure-blooded humans. He explains that gene fusers have impure blood, while mechanically modified individuals have incomplete bodies that disrupt the circulation of qi and blood. This, he argues, is why humanity's future lies with pure-blooded individuals. He once again formally invites Lin Zikin to join Tianren. Lin Zikin replies thoughtfully that he still knows too little about this path, and would prefer to observe for now. Growing more insistent, Lu Chuanwu leans forward, saying Lin Zikin can take his time learning, but it would be a waste to ignore his extraordinary physical talent. Leaning in closer, Lu Chuanwu adds that from Tianren's perspective, the so-called top scholar with 16% gene fusion compatibility is nothing compared to him. He even claims she isn't worth a single hair on Lin Zikin's head, causing a shocked Shin Han to spit out her drink. Surrounded by a fiery aura of conviction, Lu Chuanwu declares that Lin Zikin, with his #1 physical test results, is the true top talent of the province. He boldly states that if Lin Zikin follows their path, he will one day surpass Shin Han completely. This leaves Shin Han looking dejected, wondering why she was dragged into the conversation. Lin Zikin raises his hand to interrupt and points directly at her, clarifying that she is the top scholar Lu Chuanwu was just talking about. Shin Han gives an awkward wave as Lu Chuanwu begins to sweat nervously. Deciding to end things, Lin Zikin stands and says it's getting late. He picks up the phone Lu Chuanwu had offered earlier, takes Shin Han's hand, thanks him for the drink and the phone, and says they're leaving. Panicking, Lu Chuanwu calls out, offering a 6-month trial period. As they walk away hand in hand, he desperately raises the offer, promising double the benefits of the Evolution Academy. When that fails, he shouts an even bigger offer, triple. The word triple makes Lin Zikin stop. In the next instant, the scene cuts back to him sitting at the table. With a determined look, he clenches his fist and declares that he has always agreed with Tianren's philosophy and has decided to join them, contributing his talent to the future of pure-blooded humanity. Lu Chuanwu is left stunned, while a chibi version of him mentally cries over the massive cost of his promise. After making his decision, Lin Zikin asks a question. He wants to know about the source site. Lu Chuanwu is visibly surprised that a student knows of such a place. His expression turns serious as he explains that the source site is believed to be the origin of all life, and that all aberrant beasts come from there. Lin Zikin processes this, realizing that the source site is the origin of all aberrant creatures. He then asks if the beast meat sold in markets also comes from there. Lu Chuanwu confirms it, explaining that Earth alone cannot supply enough meat for the population. When Lin Zikin asks about videos of the place, Lu Chuanwu shakes his head. No electronic devices function there, so the only way to document it is through detailed drawings. This triggers a realization in Lin Zikin's mind. The image of Shin Han's senior sister, Luo Qianxue, it wasn't a photograph, but a highly detailed painting. Their discussion is interrupted by Lin Zikin's phone ringing. It's their friend Hugh, asking where they are since the gym's promotional event is about to start. Lin Zikin assures him they're on the way. He stands, slings his bag over his shoulder, and tells Lu Chuanwu they have to leave. Before they go, Lu Chuanwu hands him a blue book titled Blood Tempering Art, explaining that it contains the full cultivation method. However, he warns that there is a threshold. One must reach at least ordinary tier 4 and possess sufficient qi and blood to begin training. He suggests Lin Zikin study it over the summer. Lin Zikin casually takes the book and stuffs it into his bag. To Lu Chuanwu's surprise, he reveals that he has already reached ordinary tier 6 and plans to begin practicing immediately.
And this is how this part of this manhwa ends. Also in the future I will be bringing more and more exciting videos. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, hit the like button and stay tuned until the next video.